Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. How you all doing, everybody? If you're listening on the audio, thank you very much for either streaming or tuning in if you've downloaded it. Thank you very much. All available on good apps. This is the second Newcastle United Women's podcast. If you haven't seen the first one or listened to the first one, go and have a listen as me, Megan, Joe and Cozy debated scoring the players. That was the first episode, but this is the second one, and we thought we'll make it an NFTV one with a little +1 on the end there with Dale on the end. How is everyone?
Yeah, I'm all right. Doing grand. Oh, just Dale speaking over us as per usual, so you know, it's all good. You're used to that. I'm great.
How are you, Dale?
I'm all right. Doing my comedy with my comedy duo over there.
Jonny?
Well, I can't bring comedy, but I can bring expert opinion. Some would say not very good expert opinion on a Newcastle United women's team, but I've got so much positivity to talk about, haven't we?
That's what we want.
Champions.
That's what we want. This is the first in NFTV. This is a season review with plenty of goals, plenty of clips to keep you engaged in the next hour and a half, 2 hours, however long this may go on. But we are here. We're going to just jump straight, and we're going to take you back all the way to the summer, where Newcastle did allow the likes of Beth Guy and Freya Bales to leave. We're not really going to talk about the outgoings, but we are going to talk about the incomings. Let's take a reminder of who we brought in last summer.
With the club going full-time and the current squad excited to be turning professional, that didn't stop Becky from strengthening the squad. Players who have played in the WSL and in the Championship. We brought Amber Keegan-Stubbs back home. She supported Newcastle since being a young girl. She was made club captain, which raised a few eyebrows, but it showed the faith that Becky had in her in their leadership. Also, fellow Toon supporter Tyler Dodds was taken from rival Sunderland, as well as Emma Kelly. England Youth International Alicia Boddy was signed, goal machine Bridget Galloway, and versatile defender Naomi Badu. Plus, Jodie Bartle had Champions League experience. These were statement signings across women's football that Newcastle United were aiming for double promotion this season.
You there. Statement signings. Would you go along with that?
I would agree in...
Spit it.
I would agree in, like, say 3 or 4 of them being very statement signings. The whole bunch, bringing that many players in is for any team, it's massive. But I would look at it like Naomi Badu, Bridget Galloway. I mean, the goals Bridget Galloway went on to score, you can't deny that she was probably the biggest, most impactful signing in that bunch. But for me, Naomi was a massive signing. Jodie Bartle, and of course bringing Amber Keegan-Stubbs back home to take that captaincy. She's been massive this season, and we wouldn't be the same without her. Yeah, I would say a good 3 or 4 of them season signings, star signings.
Jonny, I'll come to you on this. Are you surprised that took a while for the announcement of the captain, but for new players to come in and take it off Grace? Are you surprised at that?
Slightly. I think you have to have someone with that leadership skills or the mentality to go, yeah, this person is ready for that responsibility. Grace had done nothing wrong in terms of that side of things. She got the club promoted from the 4th to the 3rd tier, and she was still named club captain as well. So that's which is right. I thought was right, and it was a really good thing actually. I think it just said, look, Grace is still the captain, but we want Amber. Maybe the fact that she is an outfield player to be the captain in terms of the outfield players, and maybe to get more instructions, which makes sense. Let's be honest, but yeah, I wasn't surprised in the end. But the signings were fantastic, and I think Amber, was almost the perfect captain to have for Newcastle United at this stage in their development right now.
Yeah, that woman on that clip got that wrong, didn't she? I mean, what was she on about there? I mean, what was she on about with the captains? But yeah, you're right. Obviously, Grace was still club captain, but Amber was pitch captain, if you want to call it that. But Dale, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know much about them. I'm not going to lie, but 7 of them out of 8 all play in a higher tier. Was going professional the big swing in that?
Yes, I think so. Obviously, we went professional, so that's bringing they want to come to a project which Newcastle were on a great trajectory on that project to get into the Super League. It's best to bring in obviously experience in the upper leagues and what Jonny and Joe said, leadership into there, so they pass on the experience to the younger lasses, which is really great. And the season just kept on going and going. As you can see, they were getting more and more confident in being in the high division. The experiences just got passed on.
Joe going professional, because that was such a big deal at the time. It's the only club in Tier 3 that went professional. I think it's only ever in Tier 3. What was that? What was the reason behind that?
We need to step up. It might sound harsh, especially coming from me. I'm usually all, woo, it's just great and it sounds wonderful, but we need to step up. If we are a serious team, a serious build about going into the Super League, into the Championship, even into the Champions League in the far future, then we need to step up. We need to have full time. We need to have them professional players who are training 5-6 days a week, and that really showed as well. You bring the players in like you and Dale said there. We tempted players down from the Championship who were fighting for titles and such. Tyler Dodds, Sunderland have just missed out on being promoted. How do we get a player from their team? Because of the project. Emma Kelly as well. The project we had Jodie Bartle, and there's one when you said about not much information. Not many people understand that Jodie Bartle's actually Champions League experience. Yeah. So how do you pull players like that? By being full-time. We can give you a full-time wage. We can guarantee you the facilities to train 6-7 days a week if you need to and really push your game up to the next level. It was massively needed for that, just to show how serious we are. God damn, we're serious.
Moving on in past pre-season, we're going to get straight into the games and we'll come back and talk about the games. But, of course, we all had the Halifax game, which was postponed. We'll talk about that and we'll be back in a few minutes. Listen to these. And we've got some goals to show everyone.
So the first fixture actually got postponed, which was meant to be played against Halifax because they didn't want to play on World Cup final day with the Lionesses in action. They were later fined by the FA for not fulfilling that fixture. So Newcastle's first game was a week later against Burnley in the Cup. Now went into extra time after Bridget Galloway scored on her debut for penalty. She scored another one later on and Fergie came off a bench to grab the winner in extra time as Lee headed to the ground at St James's Park to see how the men got on against Liverpool. So 2 games in one day, not bad going. The following week, Newcastle were away to the Fylde for the first league fixture where Lee travelled up from the Brighton game. Those 3 changes made with Hannah Reid, Alicia Boddy and Tyler Dodds all starting on a really hot day. It was the same game that Jodie got her face smashed in, was ruled out for such a long time, needing an operation. But let's join the action down in Fylde.
Goal for Newcastle, Bridget Galloway. Surprise, surprise. That's our third of the season and we've only played 2 games. Great finish, 1-on-1, lobbed it over the goalkeeper. I missed it because I was reaching down for my bottle of water. Newcastle go 2-0 up. The high pressing causes them a mistake. Potsy's played it out wide. Emma picks up the ball to Amber. Amber squares it, and there's Bridget for a second. Tyler's cross. Amber. Oh, what a finish. What a finish. 3-0. Great finish. Great play by Tyler on the right. For me, that's game, set and match. Newcastle now 3-0 up and cruising. Fergie's ball in. Oh. Flying around all over the place here. Goal. Georgia off the bench. Thank you very much. Great strike. Super sub. Even Hannah's coming across to celebrate.
So a fantastic 3 points to start the campaign. 4-0 looks easy, but it wasn't quite plain sailing in the first half, as Newcastle defensively were leaving gaps, but 4-0 away from home. Can it really complain? 3 points on the board. Moving on to the next fixture. Back to Kingston Park for the next fixture. We're seeing Amanda Stately present. She was chatting to fans, having photos, mingling around on a mad day with weather, as it was 25 degrees and then thunder and lightning hit. So let's join the action where we see goals from Georgia Gibson, Alicia Boddy and Bridget Galloway. We've also got a couple of interviews with Joe, with Andy Cook and Lee with Bridget.
Georgia Gibson's in. 1-0 Newcastle United. And it's Georgia Gibson puts them 1-0 up. Great cross there by Georgia to the edge box. Alicia. Oh, what a finish. What a finish that is. Outside of the boot. Makes it 2-0. What a goal. Unreal finish. Brilliant. Wow, this weather. It's thunder lightning here. This is mental. The referee has called the players off because of thunder and the lightning. We could have drama here at this game. It's either going to be delayed or worst case scenario postponed. Oh, it's a great goal. It's a great goal. Stoke have got one back. It's 2-1. It's Fergie. Rips it in. Bridget, goal for Newcastle. Some things never change, and that's a Bridget goal. Great cross by Fergie. Bridget heads it in to make it 3-1.
Andy, all right, 3-1. Brilliant win for the team. Bit of dodgy weather. How do you feel it went, though?
Yeah, apart from being soaked, we're all good. Yeah, we had a difficult 10-minute spell just after we came back out when we had the little break because of the weather, but we managed to get over it, and 3 points, so we're happy with that. Bridget's goal at the end was fantastic. Fergie's cross was brilliant, just set her up nicely, but we just had to see the game out those last 10 minutes. We made a couple of tactical substitutions. Players don't like it, but I think they appreciate that you're coming on for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, they're seeing the game out, and we're getting 3 points for Newcastle United, which is what we're all about.
Right, hello everybody, we are joined by goal scoring machine. These goals that you keep scoring, Bridget, are these just custom to you now?
I like to score a goal every game, so keeping the record going so far.
And how many is that now? Is that 5 in 3 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just absolutely banging them goals in left, right and centre. And what's your aim do you have any personal aims this season, like numbers in mind that you want to try and get?
No, obviously I want to go for top goal scorer in the league if I can, but I just aim to get a goal every game if I can. Obviously if I can get more than one, that would be great.
And the last fixture in September was away to Derby County down in Mickleover. A tough, gritty 1-0 win thanks to yet again another goal by Bridget Galloway heading home. And this was keeping Newcastle's league record at 100%, starting the campaign off brilliantly at the end of August and all the way through September. You can't ask for more for the next round of League Cup, and 9 points on the board. Brilliant.
So that was a fantastic month for Newcastle. We're going to start with Halifax. Jonny, I'll come to you. World Cup final day. Didn't want to come up and play at St James's Park. Newcastle still accommodating the room and refreshments and stuff like that, but did they just bottle it?
I think it's a mixture of the both. I think they generally wanted to watch it, but I don't think they wanted to watch it in Newcastle. I think they wanted to watch it in Halifax, and I think that's probably why. Look, if we take it out of context and it's just the occasion itself, the World Cup final, there's no bigger game in women's football, let's be brutally honest. So I can understand wanting to watch it, but Newcastle bent over backwards to accommodate Halifax. They wanted to play. They wanted to, get this game completed. They wanted to watch the World Cup final as well. Everything was in place.
They were fined by the FA, weren't they? So that guns to show you. So, but we did obviously get revenge later on the season, which we will come to. Jonny, I'll stay with you as well because I don't think everybody heard that as well. Start of the season, Hannah was picked as first choice. Did that surprise you?
A little bit, in the sense that Grace had did such a good job the previous season. However, there was going to be competition in every single position, and goalkeeper was no different. So it didn't surprise me in that regard. I think, obviously, Becky has a big decision to make at the start of the season. Who's going to be your number one? And I think we were all expecting Grace to be the number one, even though there was going to be extra competition. However, when we did see Hannah start in goal, it was like, all right then, well, we'll see. Let's see how she gets on. But obviously, it didn't end up the way it went. Hannah would have wanted it to throughout the season. But I think what it did show is Grace's mentality to go, well, I'm going to work my way back into this starting 11. And I think that's probably why she is so vital and so important. I think being the club captain as well, as we've mentioned previously, was so important because, yes, she'd have been disappointed not to start games, but she would have still been behind the team as in the whole club in terms of making sure that they get the right objective of winning games week in, week out.
Yeah, we will talk about Grace getting her place back next month. But Dale, new signing, Bridget Galloway, I mean, she just came and was like on fire, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She's just like straight out, like obviously brand new sign, just wants to put a mark on the club. Just like, watch, this is what I'm going. This is why you brought us in here to score loads of goals, and she just hit the ground running. Couldn't believe it when just seeing all the goals just scoring there. It's just like, how many could she get in a game? Was the goal? And I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that to be hit the ground like proper flying like that. Like,
I'm going to open it up to everybody. Was anyone not surprised?
looking at our stats and watching what she'd done in the prior season with Durham, I expected her to score a lot of goals.
That quick, that
But
many.
how quick she was doing them in our first game, it was 2 in our first game, 2 in our second game, and then 1 in our third game. It got to a point where by the time you saw Bridget starting, you were thinking, right, well, how many is she going to get in a game? She did go off wild, and it was the quality of her goals as well, though. Very, very, very good quality when she was finishing. She was getting into the right positions. She was always there at the right time. I wasn't massively surprised that she was scoring. It was just how quick she was doing it. And that's, I mean, at the start of the season, talking to Matt a lot and a lot of the fans, how many do you think Bridget was going to get? And we're all pipped that to get 30 plus goals. All pipped that. And we'll obviously go into that a bit more as we get into it.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable start. It was a good start as well, Jonny. You obviously coming up into another tier. Were you surprised at how well Newcastle started the first month or two?
Yes and no. I think the big question for me is that because there's been so many new signings, how quickly could they gel? But I think what you notice with better players is that they can gel quite quickly because they have that level of understanding in the head, maybe even just thinking one step or one pass more than other players. And that's no disrespect to the previous girls that played that end up getting released. It's just a massive increase in standards, increase in quality. And the one thing I said at the start of the season, when I said this when we took on West Brom at St James's Park in the pre-season friendly, and I said in the nicest possible way, last year it was a team of girls. This year is a team of women, and you could just tell they were physically bigger in terms of stronger, and they weren't getting out muscled, and they had the pace. It not necessarily a brand new team, but it was just a massive increase in terms of quality on the pitch, and there was no surprise to me that Newcastle were going to be one of the favourites of the title.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start. Let's move into autumn time. Here comes October.
Into October, Newcastle were back in cup action for the League Cup first round, as the previous couple of months were a qualifier up against Birmingham or West Midlands. Lee travelled down and seen the lasses come from behind, but it wasn't plain sailing, and also it got a little bit feisty. But let's take a look at what happened.
Richard's keeping it in. Out the box to Cora. Needs to hit this. She has. Oh, take a bow! Cora Milne Redhead. What a hit. Equaliser. 1-1. Yes, G. Deflect across. Oh! It's in! Oh, who else? Bridget Galloway. Who else, man? Last minute goal to put Newcastle in front. I mean, there's nobody else. What a signing. Oh, another red.
Becky rang the changes once again and back to her strongest side possible as the lasses went away to Liverpool Feds. Now, this is the game that NFTV were not at, but goals by Casey Elson, Emma Kelly are first for the club, and another brace for the goal scoring machine, Bridget Galloway, who was just banging in the goals for fun. 4-0 away win, which is absolutely fantastic. And Grace Donnelly got a place back in the side and has never looked back since. But news had also come out that the live streaming of home games at Kingston Park will commence, bringing an online audience into the game, which was much needed. Home fixture against Burnley, where the cameras were at, in 0-0 draw. Bridget put a penalty wide on a disappointing afternoon where Newcastle dominated in large spells. Jonny spoke to Grace Donnelly and Becky Langley after the game.
Grace, 0-0. Disappointing, or on reflection, you're thinking big saves at the end from yourself? It's a good point?
Yeah, I think as the team as a whole we're going to be frustrated because our aim every game is to go out and get 3 points, but also we've got to be happy with what we did. We haven't had anybody take points off us, and we've took a point off them, so we should be proud of our performance and the chances that we did create. I think we were on the front foot for the majority of the game. Obviously at the end had a little bit to do, but I'm happy with what we did, and I think the team should be proud.
On reflection, are you struggling to comprehend how you haven't won the game today?
Yeah, I think, it was a fantastic performance. It was a well thought out game, and, we're disappointed to have not got that last little chance and that one that had just dropped and we could punish Burnley. But on the whole, a great performance. I thought we dominated the ball, we controlled the game. We dominated those transitions. It was just that little bit where it just wouldn't drop. And Kirsty Lavelle for Burnley, the Burnley goalkeeper, I thought was outstanding. There was 3 or 4 saves, especially in the first half, she's made, and you're thinking, how has she made those saves? A couple from Alicia, a couple from Georgia Gibson in the first half. So, yeah, we're disappointed it hasn't dropped, but ultimately it's a clean sheet and another point in the right direction.
Lee and Joe headed down to Huddersfield to see the Lancers win 4-0 against Huddersfield. Bartle was out injured again, so it's sad to say her missing injury, but goals by Charlotte Potts, Georgia Gibson, Becky Ferguson and Katie Barker with the goals. And of course, we're seeing another penalty miss by Bridget Galloway, but let's join the action with the goals.
Yes.
Back to club action in the League Cup as Newcastle faced Nottingham Forest, where the game was meant to be played at the International Stadium, but because of a waterlogged pitch, the game was switched to behind closed doors up near Kingston Park where the girls train. Georgia Gibson once again scoring, and she's starting to find some form. Amber Keegan stops scoring, and Katie Elson with the goal. It's a fantastic win against promotional rivals Forest, although it is still a cup game, it still gives good confidence.
Up in Kenton Foot, isn't it? Up towards Wilsington, near the airport where the Lancers play today at the leisure centre. But look, I think there's a missed opportunity for capturing some of the game. I know health and safety reasons you don't want a big crowd there, but the game was obviously called off here at Gateshead. There was no live stream for fans who are starting to fall in love, especially the younger generation, young girls and that. Why weren't we invited just to go up and film it? Whoever's made that decision, I think it's a massive missed opportunity by you. But, we won't grumble too much. We've had amazing access to Newcastle United over the last few years, but I do feel it was a missed opportunity today because we could have given the footage and put it out to YouTube for the likes of yous watching this. But what can you do? What can you do? Who did I speak to last time? Was it Jonny? Wasn't it? Just before the clip played.
Yes.
So I'll come to you, Dale. Grace got her place back. I think it was an injury. Hannah never looked back since, has she?
No, she do. Unfortunately for Hannah, she did get an injury, but Grace just, like what Jonny mentioned earlier, I was like mentality, just straight in, just got the job done. And all in her mind now was, got this opportunity to get the number 1 status back. And by God, she put a statement in.
She won Golden Glove, didn't she?
She won the Golden Glove, and it just proves like our mentality is just absolutely incredible. Like just focused on the team, focused on her goals, and just leadership again. Yet again, like saying like earlier on, leadership skills, and throughout that, all the team they were just gelling more and more confidence they were getting. It was just a really enjoyment to see.
Bridget Galloway, obviously we talked about her. She did score 3, Joe, in October, but she missed 2 penalties on the bounce there. Did that affect her because she still scored 3 in October?
She did still score 3 in October, but when you look at the previous months, the rate of scoring was right down. I mean, when you look at the stats, yeah, it's like, no, she didn't lose form. It didn't knock her. When you've seen Bridget out on the pitch after them missed penalties, each one definitely knocked her confidence. She wasn't as quite in, to try not to be negative about Bridget. She's had amazing. It's written. She could tell every game she wasn't going in with a massive smile. She was going in. I know it's something you want to see. She was going in much more focused, and I think she put a lot of pressure on herself to try and score, which in the long run ended up in her making a few mistakes and such. Them 2 penalties, had she scored them,
especially the Burnley game.
Oh, in the Burnley game, it was a big one to miss. That it was sad, but. Had she done it, what would she have went on to? Maybe she would have hit them 30 goals. But it is what it is. Obviously, we know later on in the season, she comes back into form. She goes on her goal-scoring sprees again. But at that point in time, we were all a little bit worried. It was that moment of, is she going to come back? Have we just sort of lost a big goal scorer? And it happens in football. It's a hard game. And when you, I should know, I really struggle in my game. But when you actually,
you do realise that's now going to be clipped up if a certain individual on our WhatsApp says that.
Well, it's all good. It's me. I'm embarrassing enough myself. I can. I'm good. I can take it on the chin. But yeah, with Bridget, you're worried a little bit. Have we lost our main striker? She'd already sort of pushed Katie Barker out of her role of main striker. She's missed 2 penalties now. Ooh, and you go back to the 3 goals, yeah, but it just wasn't what we were used to. And by that point, we were at a standard of Bridget scoring 2 in a game. So 3 in a month was weak for us, and that meant to Bridget. And again, sorry Bridget if you watch this, but you were great in this season. It's been absolutely amazing. You just had a little slight, and I'm digging a hole here, Bridget. You had a rough point. Sorry.
Well, having said that, she scored 3, and she just scored more in the following months as well. So we'll talk about the competition later on. But Jonny, on to the next one. It was live streams back at Kingston Park, and there was a little bit of worry from me, but I don't know if you felt the same as well. That would it affect the attendance, especially in the winter months, but to get exposure for the lasses, they needed more, didn't they?
They did, and I think Newcastle fans are sort of unique in this sense. I think any other club or vast majority of other clubs, it would affect attendances. It would affect, in terms of people going, I can't be bothered to go to Kingston Park, especially in December when it's freezing and -2 and X, Y, and Z. But because it's Newcastle United, the fans are so fanatical, and we say it week in, week out, particularly at Kingston Park. They are going to support the team. It's like I say, it's got a really good family feel to it. They want Newcastle to do well. They want them to win every single game if possible. If that was a given, that would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it didn't concern me as much as it maybe would have concerned others, because the Newcastle fans are the best. We've seen it firsthand, haven't we?
It is exposure, and it's what the lasses wanted. I mean, it was only a year ago, 18 months ago, before the owners came in, that looked into the lasses, and they were just an add-on, wasn't it?
The biggest compliment I can give them is that we would never have been considered to play at Kingston Park. Yeah, let's be honest.
No, you're right. Dale, did you want to bring up something before?
Yeah, it was just basically what Joe was saying. When Bridget was scoring there, it took Katie Barker out there. But if you think Bridget was in there, Becky put Katie Barker on the left, and that
Katie
for me, Katie lost a place. But then Becky went, right, I'm going to put you left wing. And what a transformation. Katie Barker went on.
Agreed, fully agreed. She came into I think she's in the form of her life right now, Katie Barker. And if it wasn't for Bridget Galloway coming in and pushing Katie out of place, Katie wouldn't be on the left. And yeah, I would have been worried about her place.
It's a domino effect, because Bridget comes in, knocks Katie Barker out. Katie Barker goes left wing, knocks Casey out. And then it's a knock-on effect, isn't it? So it's a good point. It is. 4 wins. Dale, I'll save you this in a draw. The big one I wanted to bring up was that Nottingham Forest one there, where it was going to be played at Gateshead International Stadium in a waterlogged pitch, and it got moved to just behind Kingston Park. No fans. I know for safety reasons, but my argument was there. Nobody knew about the game. Didn't see any highlights, any goals. Do you think that was an opportunity missed for the likes of NFTV, not just us, other YouTube channels, to have access?
Yes, I totally agree with that, because obviously if we were there or any of our YouTubers there, it's gaining the lasses more exposure. This is how the lasses play, and this is what I want the lasses, just like the men. I just want them to get more exposure. This is what they're to gain it, because they deserve it. They absolutely deserve more, I won't say attention, but more observations and all that, because they deserve it. They've been on a good run, and we're going places. The project is Newcastle are going to proceed to the Super League, and we're going to go to the big teams and go, you know what, we're going to come for you.
Joe, I'll come to you. There's 4 wins in a draw. Unbelievable again. What a start to Tier 3 football. But the draw against Burnley is obviously, you kind of touched upon with Bridget missing the penalty there. That's the only real small disappointment against, you'd say, a promotion rival.
At the time, I don't think it was a disappointment, because the way you looked at it back then was we just went against our promotion rival and we still took a point away. Now, if you take that to the Super League, we're going to be ranting. We go get to the Super League, even when we get into the Championship here, and we go against, say, Sunderland, and we take a point away from Sunderland in a title race, that 1 point can be all that matters. At the time with Burnley, it didn't seem disappointing. Yes, later on in the season, when you look back and you think, we drew to Burnley and we should have beat them because we knew we could because of what happened later on in the season, then it's a disappointment. Looking back, it's definitely a disappointment. But at the time, I think we give a good performance. You were gutted about Bridget because it was like that golden opportunity. You're sitting on the golden snitch and you haven't taken it. That's 3 points lost. But when you walk away and you say they were title rivals, 1 point. I'm happy. I'm happy.
You want to butt in, don't you?
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, yes, everyone can talk about, Bridget not taking a chance with the penalty, and that's a really good argument.
Anyone can miss a penalty.
Exactly. But Grace made 2-3 really, really good saves in that game, particularly towards the end. And if that might change, everyone will talk about missed opportunity, the penalty. Well, actually, Grace kept it in it towards the end by making 2 or 3 really good saves. And that, again, going back onto what Joe said, that point was massive because, again, it still kept us unbeaten at that point, and that was massive.
Moving into November, where we fell in love with another football club, and we had a little trip to Nottingham Forest.
In November and on Bonfire Night, my dad and Amanda were both present as Newcastle dismantled Stourbridge 5-0 thanks to goals by Gibson, Potts, Galloway, Parker and Milne Redhead. Let's take a look at the goals, and then afterwards, Lee speaks to Becky Langley, Katie Barker and Amber Keegan-Stubbs.
Goal. So Burnley have just scored, so have Newcastle. I missed it, but it's an absolute brilliant goal by Katie Barker at the edge of the box. It's in. What a goal! Burnley have also won today as well. Let's bring up the league table. So as you can see, it's the top two as it was last week. Of course, Newcastle will have FA Cup action away down to Manchester, but this is going to go all away, and Newcastle are banging in the goals. Goal difference could be a big, big thing this season. Walk our way around now and get some interviews, and then we've got some fireworks. From a fan's perspective, I'm watching that over there. You've got to say that was a pretty comfortable afternoon for you.
Yeah, it was a really confident performance from the girls, and we wanted to put on a show, especially with Amanda and Murdad in attendance. It was fantastic to have them, chatting with the girls and us as staff before the game, and it just inspires you to go out there and give everything for the shirt. We know the club's doing fantastic, but it's just great to see that the city is buzzing because everyone lives and breathes football. It's fantastic to see both our men's and women's teams doing so well.
Katie, I was just speaking to your manager there, Becky. That was an easy afternoon, surely.
I'm not going to say easy because it did have some challenges and there was a few times the countered and things could have happened, but I think it's a credit to myself that we've kept a clean sheet and put 5 past them today.
All right, do you know what I mean? It's not...
I'm trying to stay focused.
No, me too. It doesn't matter.
She told you how much she loves Newcastle. I feel like she says it all.
I bleed black and white. Thank you, Becky. Thank you every day.
Oh, Joseph, hello. Yes, everybody, I'm in Manchester picking up Joe.
Newcastle entered the FA Cup first round away to lower opposition Mancunian Unity, a rotated side with plenty of goals. Let's join the action as Newcastle went goal daft.
Good! Yes! Good, Hannah! Yes! What, Taylor? Welcome in, Taylor. Jazz! Yes! Jazz McQuaid. That was a great goal from either end. Yes! Thank you very much. Play it, come on! Come on! This is Soulsby. She's done it. Yes! Oh, yeah! Baggy top! Soulsby's baggy top! Come on, Soulsby! Yes! Oh, Bridget. Oof. Harrick. Well done, Jazz Harrick. The team just hypnotised me. And I just love your managing ways. It's amazing, and Andy's okay.
Moving on to Nottingham Forest, the biggest test of the season away at the Premier League ground, the City Ground. No doubt about it, Nottingham Forest, they won the league last season. They won the League Cup as well. This would be a message if Newcastle could come away with 3 points. Newcastle Fans TV were given media access with Lee, Joe and Dale as they thoroughly enjoyed their day out. Let's take a look at the commentary when Newcastle United scored thanks to Casey Elson.
Oh, here we go. This is Alicia Body on the edge of the box. It's what a save! It's in! It's in! It's Casey Elson has scored! 1-0! Joe goes nuts. So what happened there? Edge of the box. The ball comes back to Alicia Body.
It was
The keeper has a fantastic save. Tips it on the post. It falls back to Casey Elson from about 6 yards out. She has a tap in, and it puts Newcastle United 1-0 up. Joe, thoughts on that, please?
Unbelievable. Love the push yet again. It's testament to exactly what we've been doing in the second half. Pass, press, shoot. And bang, that is in. It came off the post. It was the rebound that they got banged in on. I love that. We are not giving up. Now it has started. 1-0. Come on.
And then the following week it was back to the FA Cup. Becky Langley once again rotated aside against lower opposition. Lee went down there before flying out for the Champions League tie away to Paris. A rotated side Becky put out still managed to put 5 goals in thanks to Katie Barker, Bridget Galloway, an own goal, Shauna Wilkinson free kick, and Fergie, as in Becky Ferguson.
And then into that side.
Did you do that?
For me, that's one of my highlights. That favourite month in November. Just a couple of clips there that we were giggling off camera as well. It was absolutely brilliant. But Jonny, I'll come to you on this one. We'll go back to the clip there, the first game. How important is it for owners, especially Amanda? Because I get the vibe that Amanda loves it more than Amia did. I think they still both love it. I think Amanda has an emotional connection, as you see, coming up very shortly. So stay tuned. How important is it for owners to show themselves, not just at men, but they're showing an interest at the lasses?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think they've got to show that they're passionate about everything Newcastle United, almost Newcastle United daft, if you like. It doesn't matter. As long as they've got a Newcastle United badge on, they're going to support it and support it to the maximum as possible. I don't necessarily agree that Mia Dad doesn't love it as much as Amanda. I actually think it's just different types of affection towards the team.
Yeah, I disagree. I think she does. I think she's emotionally, like, with the lasses, she's just one of them.
Possibly, but I think if you look at when they're going around doing a lap of honour for the men's team, when they went against Brighton a couple of weeks ago, it was a case of they both shows their affection in different ways. So, I think it's obviously a minor detail, but it is great to see because it just puts Newcastle in a really good light and the owners in a really good light. Like, if we're being business savvy about it, it's great PR. Let's be honest, it's great PR to see your owners at every single game, and women's games especially is just going from step to step. It's like so popular now, which again, there's only going to be a good thing for Newcastle now going forward.
It's class to say the owners. The only slight thing I would like to say, Jamie Rubin there. Yeah. Jamie, you've got to get yourself to a women's game. Not at St James's Park. Dale, I'll come to you first, and add Joel wanting to say on the next bit. The connections made with Unity. We took you down, didn't we, the second time where we were in the area, and we brought you along the second time that we went down there. Obviously, you met Phil, and there's 8 Phils that live there, who work there, sorry, and it's like, came, we had a pint with them. What was your general feeling when you came?
Obviously, we used to, like, Lee and Joel met them before, but they were so welcoming to
Did he buy you a couple of pints as well?
Yeah, he did. He bought a couple of pints. Obviously, Lee couldn't drink all the pints because obviously he was mine and Joe's designated driver.
We just took the extra ones.
We took his. But it was just warm welcome. Like, even the club, just like all the staff, all the players, they were just like, to me, they're like us, familiar. Just like, they're all one big family. They're all gelled together, and they're all doing it for each other, which you need in them kind of like owned clubs. Like, you need all to be gelled as one to go places, because you're not going to go anywhere if it's like just like not gelling at all. But it was a warm welcoming, and like even welcoming strangers, like, just coming there. Phil was talking to everyone, literally everyone he could, in which I find that is amazing, because you need them kind of clubs.
You do, Joe. When we went there, we didn't expect a bond or a friendship with this club or nothing like that. You know, we did a little segment about 2 minutes talking before let's kick off. We expected to win, even with a rotated side, and the scoreline obviously 9-2. It looks like a hammering, but there was one or two, in that first half where it was like 3-2, and then there was even though the 2 goals, I think it went 5-2 or 4-2. They scored that world, and they were celebrating. They were going mad because it meant everything for them.
It was a big match feel for a match that, and no disrespect to anyone, I'm digging loads of holes the other day. It wasn't a massive match, but it felt like a big match feel. That has been one of the best supports. That's been one of the best supports I've seen against us all season. I think they had a good 90 fans out as well, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you go into a lot of these away games and you're literally seeing 250 Geordies and then the attendance is announced as 267, you're like, yeah, they've not got many. Unity brought it. It was a day where, like you say, you've got Phil Burke, the manager, Phil Taylor, the owner, which, to go off the back of what we're saying just there about Amanda, Phil Taylor is literally heart and hand invested into that whole club. He bleeds black and yellow.
And you even had a chat with the owner of Oldham,
Frank Rothwell. Whoa, Frank, I hope you're doing well, mate. Would love to have a catch up. He's a great guy, and it was mad because chairman of Oldham Athletic Club, a lot of people think, again, chairmans and such like this, they're these well-to-do people who don't want now to do with it. Frank was stood right next to us, chatting away off camera to me and Lee about everything football, the where he's been, what he's done, what he's going to do, interviewing him. The guy was just such a good loving it. His wife was just sat chilling thinking, here he goes again. And the bloke, you would never have thought for a second, I mean, Lee even at one point was geed, surely that's not Oldham's chairman. Checked on Google and it was, and we were like, it really is him. And it was unreal. Amazing bonds made with such a good club. Up the Unity. They've had a fantastic season as well. One of the only other teams that we've come across who've had almost an equal season in terms of how dominant they've been, winning every single league game. It was amazing. One of those matches where I really solidified. I was like, this is something I love. This is amazing. Doing this, coming out, seeing these teams and meeting them. Oh, it was beautiful. And obviously going well to Anna Soulsby's goal. Oh, loved it.
And Phil obviously comments a lot on the women's group, which is, you can see just above Dale's head. Get yourselves over to the Facebook page and like that group, because it's a lot of connections, a lot of news, things coming up. So, but Jonny, I want to come to you because obviously you weren't there. However, you've seen the aftermath afterwards. That you've seen Phil keeps commenting. You've seen, I think, Dan and Jamie, two fans that we know, go to Unity randomly just to go and see them in a final. It's rare though, isn't it, that two clubs like connect like that?
Yeah, it's very rare. I think obviously you get a lot of feeder clubs, and that could be something for Unity and Newcastle United maybe have a conversation about in a future time. But it's still great to say it's the power of football. It's the power of being able to support different teams, but having that mutual bond of wanting to see your team do well and the game just to grow and be as good as it can be. That's probably the best thing about all of it. Yes, Newcastle United won a football match, but you probably won more off the pitch. Let's be honest, because that's what's the Mancunian Unity and Newcastle United now. It's probably going to be that little tie with both sets of fans going forward now.
Yeah, they want a friendly, don't they?
Besties.
He loves it, him, because we went the second time.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
So, yeah, unbelievable. So, big shout out to everyone at Unity. But I want to come on the Forest deal, because that was the biggest game of the season to date. Going away to Forest, who won the double last season, who should have really gone up because of staffed league rules. But to go to Forest, to win at Forest, not the most prettiest game, don't get me wrong, but a statement.
It was a statement. We were there, just like both teams knew a point wasn't really good for either. Both teams went for them 3 points, and it was really enjoying to watch. Like from both specs, defending, attacking, everything. And look, we came out on top, and it was a great feel. But it was a great match to watch. So, then in my opinion, I was thinking it's going to be a really close title race between. I knew then it was going to be us, Burnley, and Forest. It was going to be between us three getting promoted. But I always believed that we were going to win there. But it was going to be hard. It wasn't going to be an easy promotion that I thought it was going to be.
I think if you look at overall the league table, you always look at like the teams. If you're at the bottom of the league, teams around you, teams at the top, can you pinch points of each other? Newcastle certainly did that. But Joe, the media press, it was the first time NFTV had ever live streamed at a professional ground before. So for me, that was a big thing. Unbelievable Wi-Fi at City Grounds.
It was.
Unbelievable upload speed, Jonny, of 100 meg.
Oh, that was incredible.
Paradise, music to my ears. Wish more football grounds. But how was your day?
I didn't get fed.
I know that's on the vlog, isn't it? Missed out on the food, did you?
Missed out on the food. Me and Dale were left to starve.
I tell you, a northerner.
It was horrible. I couldn't believe it. I will never ever go back there. Nah. Do you know what?
Playing the violin.
Nah, it was a great day out, going around, getting with press passes, getting in there. That was actually the day that I met Naomi Badeau's father and mother outside after the game. The match itself was probably one of the most nervous matches that I've had this season. Hence the way I celebrated Casey Elson's goal. It was electric, and you really felt, you were like, right, if there's going to be one goal in this game, we've got it. It's game over. Right, 3 points. Howie, let's go. Against, again, a team who, wow, they were competition this season. Really scary going against Forest this season. Even when you look at the point difference right now at the end of the table, it was mad. But getting the press access and just feeling like a really important person for one day in my life was really fantastic. Like, I would love to go back
like
to that
rock
day.
Star.
Yeah, no, wait, copyright, don't sing Nickelback. So yeah, fantastic time. Just wish I had got some food, but I got unlimited coffees, and I loaded up on cappuccinos that
I love
day.
your coffees.
Ooh.
And also, at the Forest game, that's where me and Joe called Grace the Flying Dolphin. Grace got her nickname, the Flying Dolphin. We did ask her after the game if it was all right to call her that, and she said yes, so that was kind of cool.
Are you encouraging people to call her that now?
Of course.
Why? The way she bangs out some dives, it's insane.
Fair enough. Unbelievable month. Let's move on to December, and then we're at the halfway point, but busy month in the cold.
In early December now, and a 1-0 win in the snow against West Brom thanks to super sub Becky Ferguson's strike. And after the game, Lee spoke to manager Becky Langley and goal scorer Becky Ferguson as Newcastle went top of the league for the first time this season after 9 games.
Not cleared by the West Brom player, falls straight away to Becky Ferguson, who puts it away in the bottom left-hand corner. It was coming, it's been a while, but great goal there.
Top of the league, you must be buzzing, because that was the aim. You said that at the start of the season, and if you wanted to, people might have said, ooh, a double promotion, can that really happen? But Burnley didn't play today. You're now top, 2 points clear. Got to be happy.
Yeah, we're really happy. I think that's our ultimate aim, but I think it's more important who's in that top spot come May. Last year, we spent probably 8 months in second position, so it goes right down to the wire. We're really aware of that, but it does feel nice to be the team in front and, others to be chasing us. I think that's, give us a real confidence boost, and I'm just absolutely delighted.
Top of the league, which you must be all buzzing in the dressing room.
Yeah, we're buzzing. Aim now is just to stay top of the league before Christmas, and then we're going to have a nice Christmas break and then back to it after Christmas.
And the last one, just before I let you go, is that you mentioned there, do you think it's you, Burnley and Wolves, or is it too close to call at the moment?
I think it's a bit close. You never know what can happen, I guess. Just need to keep going one game at a time, getting the points, and then we should be on to win it.
Moving on to the FA Cup third round, where Joe travelled for Newcastle Fans TV as Lee was with the first team. A 5-0 win in Gateshead thanks to a Galloway double, Barker with one and Soulsby with a brace. Let's join the action, and then Joe interviews Becky and Anna after the game.
Potty there to clean up the mess. Ball through. Olivia, Bridget. And it's in! Katie Barker cuts in. Lovely, easy tap in! 2 for Bridget Galloway. Oh, flicked on. Bridget picks it up. Katie is very clear here. Oh, lovely turn by Katie, and what a goal! What a goal by Katie Barker! On the wing there. Oh, we need Taylor to swing it in. Lovely swing, and it's in! Yeah! Come on, Anna! Anna picks it up. Can I get a second? Oh! She does! She does! Anna Soulsby wins! It's a favourite of mine, but Anna Soulsby had a bit of a wonderful performance, didn't she?
Yeah, Anna Soulsby's a great girl. She's a massive Newcastle fan. She gives absolutely everything. Every single day she comes into work and she just loves to be here. So it's a pleasure to work with her. And she works hard, and some of that doesn't go unnoticed to me, but it might to others. And today she's got her reward by coming off the bench, 2 fantastic goals. Really controlled header from a great cross from Tyler for the first, and then the second one, she's used her strength, stayed on the ball, and then just smashed it home, which is just absolutely buzzing for her.
Baggy top. Anna, coming on as a super sub there, how did it feel?
Unbelievable. I'm just happy to be able to show the gaffer what I've always wanted to do, really. Show that I can do it.
And I mean, one thing I've got to say, the times you've been coming on in the last few games, I've got to say your performances have been excellent. You've been working hard in training.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think just being in a full-time environment, it's just a part of your everyday life, so you kind of have to, and it's just ingrained into you every single day to do what you're meant to do.
Another home game, this time back at Kingswood Park in a balmy one. 11-3 win over Fylde thanks to a hat-trick by Bridget Galloway, a brace by Barker, another McQuaid hat-trick, Gibson solo strike and an own goal. But Fylde netted 3 amazing goals on the night. Incredible. Let's join the action. And then Lee speaks to Becky and Jazz after full time.
With the free kick towards the far post, headed back.
It's 5-0 to Newcastle United. Kelly's free kick towards the far post wasn't dealt with by Fylde.
What
a fantastic goal from Fylde. On the left, just on the edge of the box, right-footed, no chance for Grace Donnelly. And it's another corner looking for Charlotte Pass, and it's a fantastic header. And that is number 6 for Newcastle United. Goal. Can she make it 2? She'll lay it on a play for number 5 for Fylde, and that's a second goal for AFC Fylde, and it is 6-2, the 8th goal so far in this game. Looking for Georgia Gibson, who plays it through to Bridget Galloway, right-footed, great finish, great football, and Newcastle United make it 7-2. Cross looking for Bridget Galloway, but Katie Barker's there. Katie Barker makes it 8, her first of the game. And Newcastle United have scored 8 this afternoon. Jazz McQuaid can get a head up.
Nah.
I think she saw it, but it was a bit too late. Katie Barker's on the left-hand side. Emma Kelly sees her. Driving in the box, looking for a second, and she gets a second. A mistake from the goalkeeper. Goes through her body, and Katie Barker gets her second of the afternoon. It's Newcastle United 9. I'll tell you what, Grace Donnelly hasn't conceded 3 goals in a long time, but the 3 goals that she's conceded have been absolutely outstanding. The better of them. And Anna twisting and gets her revenge on the number 2. Driving away. She's got options left and right. She might even take it on herself. But she'll go right to Dodds. Crosses it in. Galloway with a header!
Yeah, there it is.
There's the hat-trick. On the right, where she's more capable of getting a couple of goals. It might be an own goal. It is an own goal.
It's an own goal.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't really matter how many minutes I get or if it's a start or whatever. I just always want to do my best. And then, obviously, if there is injuries, I can be trusted to obviously do a job. And all that matters is that we'll get 3 points.
We're now 5 points clear.
Yes.
It's a nice change because I've talked to you loads this season and even last season where we're having to do the chasing. Now, yes, I know Burnley have got a game in hand, but with a nice little 5 point cushion there. So are you just treating this as a break at the moment, come back game by game?
Yeah, absolutely. We work very hard, so we're looking forward to a break and to recharge our batteries over the Christmas. But yeah, it's great to have that cushion, but it'll be different for us in terms of being the chaser versus actually being chased. So yeah, we just need to ensure that our league position is exactly the same come May.
And we've got 3 points, 5 points clear now, top of the league. Come at a good time, Christmas break. All the girls buzzing?
Yeah, everyone's buzzing. I think we've just grafted for that long. Like even the start of pre-season till now, and we've just gelled as a team, like on and off the pitch, and it's just rewarding to see like ourselves at the top of the league. Everyone's done their bit, so yeah, it's just really good.
Indeed, by Jazz McQuaid, who was just banging in hat-tricks recently. But Jonny, I'm going to come to you. The start of the month, and it was snowing, and I think it was like really early in December, and it was a big win. Not because it was West Brom, the fact that, and big shout out to Becky Ferguson coming off the bench for a great goal. But we went top for the first time this season.
Yeah, it was a big win. I think it was the fact because it was such a late goal, which is unlike Newcastle. They were taking their chances pretty much early on in most games. But maybe because of the weather, the fact that West Brom defensively, even though they were near the bottom, were actually not a bad outfit at the back. Newcastle just took a little bit longer, but the late goal did us the world of good. And I think those are the points that you look back on and you go, that was 3 huge points, and you go, well, instead of being maybe 5 points clear, we're 2 points clear, and we've still got to go to Burnley, still got to face Forest at home. You know, it just gives them that safety buffer, if you like. And yeah, massive win in the context of the season, and big goals, big moments.
Massive win. You heard the interviews there with Becky. Said from day one, double promotion, and we got it was a huge statement. But Joe, over at you, because you were at the Gateshead International Stadium. I can't remember which one it clashed with it, but you were there for us. More goals, another 5 put in, and your girl Anna getting a double.
Oh, Anna on the double! What a moment! I've said it on the podcast with Megan. That is my favourite moment of the season. She deserved it so much. She'd been putting in all the work, and to get a chance there against Stoke, it was.
I'm going to ask you that later.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was phenomenal to be there, and it was obviously a massive opportunity for me coming on to Newcastle Fans TV and getting to that point and going out there and interviewing Becky and Anna, which was just fantastic. Becky is.
How did you find that? Because that was my next question lined up.
It was
nervous.
Very nervous. Obviously, anything else that I'd done up to that point, I'd done in with the guidance of yourself. This one was totally solo. Going to Gateshead, I mean, knowing me, getting to Gateshead was a struggle. No, it was fun.
Jonny has that problems as well.
Well, so did you today as well, actually, didn't you, lads?
Not Gateshead International, no.
Oh well, not Gateshead. No, you struggled at Gateshead, didn't you? You got here on time, didn't you? I got here on time. That's right,
Jonny. Didn't we get
Jonny.
here on time, Dale?
We were here an hour before these were, but we
had to go home.
We had to go home and get a camera
to make you look beautiful today.
So what they're saying. My hair does that for us, thanks lads. What they're saying there, by the way, is that they weren't here when it mattered. But Gateshead Stadium, I was there when it mattered. Lee was somewhere else when it mattered as well.
Winner.
Yeah, and no, it was brilliant. It was a big moment in the cup as well. Pushing forward against Stoke, a team who, in all intents and purposes, Stoke are a team who us going out and smashing 5-0. It's another one of those performance that we put on so much this season of we shouldn't be doing this well against these teams, and we were flying. I mean, we had a lot of switch arounds that day. There was a lot of players who would come in, a lot of first team starters went, no, we're going to sit them out on the bench, and we didn't need to bring them on. We dominated that game. It was nervous going and doing the interviews, but the lasses after that sort of performance, they were ecstatic. Everyone was buzzing, fans were buzzing. Great turnout once again from Ireland, and Bernie with the drum dressed as a snowman. Should I add to that? Fantastic day out, really was excellent, and I would definitely go back. I just wouldn't want to be where yous were, getting soaked by all the rain.
Yeah, and it was a good progression, and obviously, no doubt about it, the club wanted a WSL side. We will come on to that very, very shortly. But Dale filed at home, 11-3. What a mad game.
It was a mad game, but it was yet again it was more enjoyable. The lasses did it was a great performance there, but give it wrong. Sorry for my pronunciations because I never can say it right.
Go on, have a go.
Flied scored.
Filed
scored through, like what Jonny, once you saw on the video, Jonny said there, they scored 3 amazing goals, which credit to them, but yet again it was just showed a statement to the other teams. We are serious. We are going for that promotion, and if you want to compete, you got to compete with us, and it's a great showing.
Jonny, I don't think I've seen a game like that. I think even Becky said that in one of the interviews. I haven't put it on this pod, but how do you analyse that?
It's a difficult one to
I
analyse.
just put in a big shout out with Bridget getting a hat-trick as well.
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic occasion where a lot of players just wanted to get as many goals as possible because that's, with the greatest respect of Fylde, they were bottom of the league for a reason. But yeah, I think in one aspect, look, great goals from both teams. From a Newcastle perspective, the goals that we scored were fantastic. There was a all different range of goals looking back on the highlights, which you've just seen. However, the goals that they conceded, you can't really look at your goalkeeping coach or your defensive coach and go, well, how did that go in? Because the goals were absolutely superb. It was 2 fabulous strikes, and then one of them was a tap-in, but it was more the pace of the winger from Fylde. That was why it was a good goal, and how rapid she was. But yeah, I think it's a case of we can take the advantages and take the positives of how good we were going forward, but how can we stop those goals? I suppose is probably the strange question, because they were so good, but could we have done more? And that's probably one for the coach and staff to look at, and not the self-proclaimed pundit of it, I suppose.
We are lethal, frightened going forward. I mentioned there, the FA Cup draw was then announced in December. Joe, everybody wanted a big side. My God, did we get one?
Manchester United.
We will talk about that game in the next coming up, but just the initial thoughts on the actual draw.
Can I just quickly butt in? We're recording this when Manchester United have actually won the FA Cup, so we've actually lost to the eventual cup winners.
Yes,
oh yeah,
the women's, yeah. Ella Toon with a worldie. Yeah.
As per.
But your initial thoughts, because I was like, get in. I personally was so excited for them, because it's a test to see how far we are, where we're at, and where else can you go? There's not many bigger clubs.
Looking at that point, we've touched upon it a few times. At that point in the season, we'd only drawn against Burnley. We'd edged a 1-0 win against Forest. We were very confident. We needed something, like you just said, that we needed something to test them lasses. They needed a true test, because we weren't getting it at the time. No disrespect to any other teams in the league, but we weren't getting it. We were flying. We needed something. What better than a team who is up in they're in the top flight of the WSL. They're fighting, like Jonny said, they've went on to win the trophy. They are fighting for titles regularly. They've got the best women's goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion.
Not for long.
Well, yes, not for long at all. And some of the players they've got, the likes of Nikita Paris, Melvin Mallard, oh my God, my personal favourite, JC. This is a team is unbelievable to get them. Oh, yes, there's nerves, but more than that, this is what exactly, win, lose or draw, it doesn't matter. We're going, we're facing some of the best, which is where we want to be.
Talk about Man United in a second, but Jonny, I want to talk about Jazz McQuaid, because this start of the season where she was just starting to get in the team a little bit more. She had a substitute role, same as Hannah Greenwood, to be fair. But Jazz McQuaid was starting more games now, and she's putting in the goods.
I'm a big fan of Jazz McQuaid. I really am. I think if you just need to give her more of the ball, because she'll get you out of trouble, and she's in a position where she can score goals, she can create, she can assist. I think what Becky was trying to do was to get her to watch the game a little bit, particularly in the first half, and going, well, how can you impact it coming off the bench? Because you'll definitely come on. But what can you do? What are you noticing in that second third of the pitch in particular, so that you can make a difference to the team? I think she's quite a unique player. I don't think there's another player like her in that squad at Newcastle United, in my opinion. I think there's goal scorers, there's a little bit of creativity, but I think she gives you something a little bit different. And I think from that moment to the end of the season, she was one of the outstanding players for Newcastle, in my opinion.
Unbelievably interesting to see if she has that licence to do what she can do and express herself next season with tougher opposition. But we'll have to see. Some bad news though, Dale. as we wrap up December. Fergie, sadly, injured for the rest of the season. Massive blow, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because she was in form. She was starting on the right, and she was crossing in the balls for Bridget to get on the end too. I was devastated when I saw that, because she was enjoying it. She was enjoying it more. She was scoring definitely crucial goals. West Brom got 3 points there, and she was enjoying it. You can tell she was eager. I am keeping this spot, and then unfortunately she got injured. Obviously was sport to one. She was just sounded so deflated, because obviously she was injured, but she was upbeat. She was like, she's going to fight for our place next season.
Yeah, big shout out to Becky Ferguson. Was very well liked amongst the squad. But as we move into January, transfers were happening.
5 new faces entered in the January transfer window. Up-and-coming goalkeeper Lily Woods, who's already been capped at full international level with Northern Ireland. Defender Leah Cataldo joined from Crystal Palace, as did Paige Bailey-Gale, and Palace play at a higher level. Forward Nikki Giaz, after giving birth recently, found herself with a new club, as in the Magpies. And Beth Lumsden, who's been scoring goals for fun at this level with Portsmouth this season, was brought in also. Department club season out on loan was Cora Milne Redhead for the lack of game time. She joined Norton, as did Daisy Bird for the same reasons. She headed to Middlesbrough on loan for the rest of the season.
Really going to talk about those two players, but I do want to talk about, just briefly, 30 seconds, we'll move around. I'll come to Joe. Lily Woods, one for the future?
I would think so. International keeper, regular starter there. Yeah, we haven't seen her feature, albeit 20 minutes so far, but at that point in time, we're looking at her and we're going, again, it's that statement. We're signing top quality players and a goalkeeper. Brilliant. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Leah Cataldo for you, Jonny. Pressed.
Yeah, very much so. I think that was one position I think Becky was waiting for a specialist player. And I think they were waiting for the right player. And Leah Cataldo has certainly shown from that point to the end of the season how important she was in terms of that creativity down the left-hand side, defensively switched on as well. So, yeah, really, really smart signing.
Dale, you've got Beth Lumsden, so many goals for Portsmouth. I think she said I'm not obviously Matt Statman, but it was something like 14 out of 15 games or something crazy like that. Brought in, she was playing on the wing, took Tyler's position. But again, what's your thoughts on her?
Beth is definitely a good player. She hit the ground running. Yeah, just crossing in the balls. Yeah, doing great runs, and yet again, just being on the scoring sheet.
2-footed, cuts in, play left or right, play in the 10.
That's what you need. You need versatile players that can do both roles. And she's just come in, just slide straight in, gelled straight away. Even all the new signings have just gelled once it came in, straight in. It's like they've been here for like ages, which was great to see.
Sure. Nikki Gaz, was she just brought in to replace Fergie?
I mean, it's hard to say because she didn't really feature. She didn't come straight into the team like any other outfield player, I'll say, who sort of slotted in, and we're seeing them feature straight away. We've only seen Nikki Giaz have a very minimal amount of time. I think more for me, Nikki Giaz was a player who came in case we needed her. We were at that point getting a lot of injuries. Naomi Bedeau, Jodie Bartle, Becky Ferguson. I believe there was a couple others sprinkled in there. We needed some depth at that point in time. I think Nikki Giaz was a backup and another one who we can rely on in the future to come in and really do a job. You look at one point, you're going to have Nikki Giaz on one side and Beth Lumsden on the other, with the likes of who I know you're going to go on to next, like there's a Paige Bailey-Gale or Bridget Galloway in the middle. Oh, we're starting to talk quite dangerous now, like, aren't we?
Yeah, we will bring on to January in a second, but I want to open this up because I'll come to you first, Jonny. Was the signing of Paige Bailey-Gale, easy for me to say, the downfall of Bridget Galloway?
It certainly looks that way when you see how both of those players played and ended up in terms of the stats towards the end of the season. However, I think it's almost like a harsh sentence because Bridget Galloway still ended up being Newcastle's top goal scorer.
I think she was on 16, I think, by this stage, or near enough.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one. I think what it was in the January transfer window, it was a case of, right, what's going to get us promoted? Goals will get us promoted. Have we got enough goals in us? Some would argue yes, some would argue no. But it's no harm having an extra striker who has played in a higher division and has got a point to prove as well. And I think that was important to kind of go, yeah, I belong here, or even I belong at a better standard, but I'll come and drop a division to get this club up. And she talked about the I suppose the look of the club and the, in terms of going further forward in the future, that's what attracted her. And Newcastle were thinking, right, she's the person that's going to take us up, and she's again scored some big goals.
Let's see how January got on her.
And into the new year, and a 7-0 win over Halifax. Remember them? The side that cancelled on the first game of the season, so no doubt about it. It was revenge. There's a hat-trick by Katie Barker and single strikes by Georgia Gibson, Emma Kelly, Hannah Greenwood and Tyler Dodds. Let's join the action. And then afterwards, Jonny grabbed Becky and Katie for a quick chat.
Win, clean sheet, still top of the league and flying.
Yeah, fantastic. A really efficient performance from the team. Really, really pleased to keep the clean sheet. It was something we were really disappointed against Fylde. But yeah, fantastic score of 7 goals. That's 17 goals in the last 2 games here at Kingston Park, which just shows another dominant display. So absolutely delighted with the 3 points, and yeah, on to Man United now.
Katie, the team just seems to have ended 2023 fantastic, and they've started 2024 just as well.
Yeah, I think, I just echo what you've just said. I think that's the way we want to play football, though, and the things we want to do. It was a Christmas break, but I think for us in the direction we're heading, it isn't really a break, and we've all come back firing in the same direction, so it was definitely a very good result today.
On to the big one, which was Manchester United away. All of the fans have been waiting for this. All of the players, the staff have been waiting for this. Sadly, it didn't go Newcastle's way as the WSL side showed their quality. But what a day for every single supporter that was there. Let's join the action, and we give Joe the access to interview Becky and captain Amber Keegan-Stubbs after the game.
Unbelievable strike. Graves trying to go through it, but unfortunately, with them goals, you in front. That's just proving the girls have come so far, and they're not dangerous, and they go there. Nikita Paris is there with their crosses. It looks like there's been an injury in the middle. I don't know who's down at the moment, but yet again a cross comes in at the back post. Scoring at number 4 for Man United. Just switched off at the back.
Up, unbelievable, congratulations getting to this point in the tournament. It's fantastic. How do you feel after that performance?
Yeah, I think, the initial part, we're all so competitive and we play to win. We're disappointed to not win the game. But I think, understanding our context and understanding that, Manchester United are in the WSL and this is the start of our journey. We're 6 months into a full-time programme in Tier 3, so we've got a long way to go, but it was good to see where we're at, pitch ourselves. But I think most importantly, just my overall feeling is pride. Super proud of the players, the effort they gave. We were still in the game at 30 minutes into it, and we pressed from the front, and for the first 15 minutes it was still 0-0. So yeah, we're really proud. The effort was there, the passion is always there, and it's just I guess Geordie's just want a team that tries, so therefore they can go away happy with the girls' effort today.
First of all, Amber, Toon.
Black and White Army.
Come on, that's what we're talking about. How do you feel after going against the Super League side?
Good test for us. We said we're going to come here and see how we match up to one of the big teams. I think we did ourselves proud, and just really proud, honestly. Again, proud and buzzing, and just gave a good account of ourselves today.
Back to league action, and up against Forest, Newcastle just didn't create enough and sadly went down to 2-1 defeat after taking the league through Georgia Gibson, but a late goal condemned Newcastle to 0 points. Let's join the action as Beth Lumsden and Nikki Gaz made their debut off the bench later on in the game, and we'll also hear from Becky Langley at the end.
Oh, come on, no. Fuck me, man. Fucking really shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Newcastle United have had their first defeat in the league for 15 months. Going down 2-1. Burnley didn't play today, they played in the Cup. So Newcastle remain 4 points clear at the top of the league, but now they've played 2 games extra. Burnley do play Nottingham Forest next, so we've just been beaten off. Disappointing, that's all I can say, disappointed. Didn't for me create enough.
Yeah, disappointed in the result, it goes without saying. I think I agree. I think we started the game really well. We were positive and on the front foot, and took the early lead from Georgia from a corner. And those 5 minutes after, I felt like we would really take control of the game. But we didn't, and it ended up being quite disjointed, and disappointing way to end. I think we were quite open because we were pushing and we wanted that second goal and to ensure we won the game, but actually left ourselves a little bit exposed and ended up conceding. So it's something we need to reflect on. We'll be putting in the hard work during the week next week to ensure we're preparing for Fylde, and then preparing for our next league game. Lots of disappointments, but I think some of the players in the changing room there really summed it up well. I think it was reflecting on the experiences of last season, and drawing upon when we lost to Durham, it actually was the catalyst for our season, and we need to ensure that it doesn't become a hangover next week. So looking forward to Fylde in the Cup, and it's a different test, and it probably comes as a good time.
Back to Fylde for the second time this season as race starts by Hannah and Cora as Newcastle entered the League Cup quarter-finals. It wasn't a good start for Newcastle, going behind and then equalising through George Gibson, but a much better second half with a brace from Tyler Dodds, and another goal by George Gibson ended Fylde's hopes of reaching the semi-finals, but the Lasses marched on. Let's join the action.
Shush. Come out! VAR checked it was offside.
Pissing us off. Sorry. You're right.
You're alright.
Again. £80. How quiet it is.
Take your time.
Hit and miss, to be honest with you, in January, but Adele, I'm going to come to you with the 7-0 win over Halifax. Absolutely coming back from the, I nearly said international break, Christmas break, sorry, where the Lasses had 2 or 3 weeks off, and Katie Barker, we kind of mentioned that earlier on, made that left wing position her own, and what a performance by her on the evening.
It was brilliant, just seeing that transformation from going from a forward, going to the left wing, just transformed her, just like cutting in, crossing, shooting, just turns just like a really brilliant player, and it's enjoying to watch, and I'm happy for her.
Goals are getting spread around the team, but we seem to talk about it all the time now. As we're doing this season review, but revenge, was it, Joe, for Halifax? Because it was the first time, since we meant to play them at the start of the season.
Deepest, darkest revenge. Take them down. Make them pay. Starting our season terrible and give them a horrible start of the season. I think we did want to sort of teach them a lesson because of the kerfuffle at the start of the season. Not so much not getting the game, but just the big fuss, the way, like Jonny said earlier, the way we accommodated them. I think the lasses wanted to go out there and be like, do you know what? This is what would have happened to you then, and it's happening to you now. Do your reps. It was nice. Very nice to see.
We're talking about with 7-0 win, like it's just normal for us now, and having 5, 6, 7s, but Jonny, the big one, Man United away, and it's always got to be a test, isn't it, against a WSL side? And when you look at it and think 5-0 looks like a hammering, but after 30 minutes, it was still 0-0.
Yeah, I think they would have learned more from that game than any other league game this season because of the level of opposition. We're talking about the eventual FA Cup winners. It doesn't get much better than that. They're currently in the top 5 of the WSL at this moment in time. So, look, it was always going to be a huge ask. But the girls did the team, did everybody proud. The amount of Newcastle fans that went down to Manchester on that Sunday was an absolute credit to them all. But I think what it showed was that Newcastle United need to be in the WSL as soon as possible because they will bring something completely different, and I think it'll just enhance the actual league more than anything. In terms of the actual performance on the day, yes, 5-0 seems a bit of a hammering, but Newcastle defended extremely well, if I'm honest. Watching the game back, they defended extremely well. They didn't have many chances. Mary Earps, Manchester United gave Newcastle the respect by playing, the number one goalkeeper, playing a lot of the first team players. They took it very, very seriously. But let's be brutally honest, Man United had a pretty easy day for the vast majority of it. But the next time they play Man United, it won't be as comfortable as that because Newcastle are only going one way.
I want to jump straight in there about what you said there, Jonny, about Newcastle. Manchester United had a very easy day. After watching the final, Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur, two high-flying Women's Super League teams, majority of that game, Manchester United spent in Tottenham Hotspur's half, attacking. A lot of the game against Manchester United, especially the first half, we were in their half. We were causing problems. Yes, we weren't causing massive threats. I get that. But for me, it's a massive sign of what we can do going forward.
I think to that point, I completely understand where you're coming from. But I think for me, did Mary Earps have to make any saves? I think that's the big question. I'm not disputing that Newcastle didn't, try to create and try to go forward. They certainly did, and they had the bright sparks at certain times, but in terms of actually creating the actual chances, did Mary have to go, I had to make that save, I had to do this, I had to do that? But in a good way, it can only get better when you take on that level of opposition because Newcastle, as I've mentioned, are already going one way. So it'd be really interesting to see, but the players certainly will never forget that experience with the fans and the actual occasion. But I think even Manchester United were kind of like blown away a little bit with what Newcastle are doing right now. And this is a team that at this moment in time were top of the third tier.
And also to jump in, when the first 35 minutes, we stood toe to toe with Man United. We were frustrating them.
Took a wonder goal, didn't it?
Took a wonder goal from Ella Toon, 35 yards to start scoring that there. But Man United were kind of like, I know where Joe was scoring, because they were on the back foot, because Katie Barker on the left, she was causing the most damage. She was getting the balls into there. But like I say, it took two wonder goals from either side of the first half into the second half. But yet again, I was so proud. We got beat 5-0, but I didn't care because we went toe to toe with Man United without fear. And that's what I like. I'd rather lose 10-0, all that, in attacking, rather than just sitting back, parking the bus and just getting an odd scrap goal.
Yeah, they showed heart, and obviously I've got to applaud the away support. Was unbelievable. It was like half the ground was a home game again. Absolutely incredible, and obviously we're seeing it with the pictures there with Mary Earps and Nikita Paris and Katie Zellum and Mark Skinner. Is Mark Skinner the manager? Yes. Applauding all away fans, and they had the team photo in front of the fans, which is, it's for some of these girls, they'll never have this opportunity again in their lives, because some of them obviously won't progress through the leagues with Newcastle. So for them, this is their final. So they were delighted. And obviously, Joe had the privilege of interviewing Becky and Amber afterwards as well, and getting very emotional when he seen Nikita Paris, didn't you?
Oh, I seen it. I said to Lee, I was like, Lee, there's Nikita Paris. I was like, you all right, Nikita? Yeah, I'm all right. You all right, chick? I was like, yeah, we've done all right game, wasn't it? Yeah, your lasses played well. It was brilliant. But no, Nikita Paris, canny as out. I even seen Mary Earps, like, really close by. But then interviewing Amber and interviewing Becky after a moment like that. We'll get onto it later when I interviewed them after another devastating loss.
I just give it them all the time, don't I?
You do. I know he gives us the losses. He bottles it and goes, "Go on, Joe, you're happy, go lucky. You can smile in the faces and annoy them." But the Manchester United one, both of them came away very positive. It's probably one of the most positive and insightful interviews I've had with Becky this season, where she talked a lot about how come back from that, how you come back from facing a giant, getting beaten 5-0 and taking positives, not negatives, away from it. It was nice. It was really nice to hear from that side of it, especially obviously Amber being captain as well. They just want to go forward and make sure, like, we give a good account of ourselves, and we're happy about that. Really good interviews.
Yeah, there's ways to get beat, but Jonny, we had you've had the glamour tie. Can he bounce back? Nottingham Forest at home. What happened?
Give credit to Nottingham Forest. I thought they defended well at times. The keeper's made a fantastic save with the last kick of the game. It's an absolute wonder save. Close out. I think, if I'm honest, I think a draw would have been a fair result. I don't think any team actually were massively better than the other. I think Newcastle obviously started pretty well, but I think Forest grew into the game. And the first goal actually would be the more frustrating goal rather than the second goal. If I'm being honest, the first goal was a really defensive. It was a defensive calamity, wasn't it? And if it stays 1-0, can Newcastle get another one and then just see the game out potentially? But again, that win brought Forest back into the conundrum. If we thought it's between us and Burnley, it would have to take a bit of a minor miracle for Forest to get back into it. Well, actually, Forest did what they had to do. They got the 3 points, and they looked at it and gone, well, we just need to take care of what we can do and see if Newcastle make any more mistakes. But possibly a little bit of a reality check at that moment in time to go, right, we need to get back to what we've been doing throughout the whole season, winning games, being dominant throughout and taking my chances. But that's the only blemish on a fantastic season is those 2 weeks, if we're being honest, and that just shows the quality of this Newcastle United.
100% was definitely the toughest period of the season. So coming away, you could feel afterwards that Dale, you were there with us as well, that it was just the players were grim walking away. You said something in the car coming here as well. You want to make a point of that is no matter what the result, the players and management should go to the kids, because they didn't this one time. They didn't go over and say hello and sign photos. I agree with that, by the way. I think that should always be given. Why? Was it just... Is it like unexpected defeat? Was it just anger? Was it something that's mentally just said, no, we don't want to, or they could not face it?
I think it was, to me, it was utter shock. I think it was because the lasses that did a great season, they haven't really in the league got beaten, and I think they got into that winning mentality. And like the draws there was like, we're still undefeated. They haven't really tasted defeat in the league, and then obviously it happened, and it was more like a state of shock. But then yet again, I was like, I don't want to be negative or there, but like for the fans, like you lose, you win, you draw as a team, no matter what, you still go over there. You just bite the tongue. You sign it there. You just smile for the fans. Oh yeah, but then you can just.
It was odd, wasn't it?
That's the most important thing. You're there for the fans. You're there for the fans, and
I think Jonny made a good point about professionalism. I think that'll change next season, because Newcastle probably expecting an extra few defeats. But can Newcastle bounce back? Away to Fylde, it was a great team to play at bottom of the league. 4-1 away win. It's what you needed. Hannah and Cara over here starting. It was in the cup, so a nice little distraction off the league. Lily Woods even made her debut. Got 20 minutes. How important, Joe, was it to bounce back?
Mega. We needed something to give her that momentum. Yeah, we needed to. We were so used to flying high, and it came to them 2 weeks, which Jonny mentioned upon being probably the only two major blemishes on the season. We needed something just to make we feel that feeling again of, we're still in control of this. We haven't thrown everything away. We're still the team we know we can be, and that game against Failed that game against Failed was huge, and Hannah coming on and getting a start. I think that was the game where Hannah Greenwood really, really solidified a place in our lineup. Seeing Lily Woods as well, it was again showing off what we could do. We've got options. We can change things if we need to. If we need to change with strategies, if we need to change with tactics, we can. Cora Milne Redhead, amazing. Yet again, it failed. And it was just showing more depth that we've got. Look, we're having a struggle. We've got a chance to sort of have a break, give some of the lasses who need a break, who mentally might not be doing that well, which is massive in the game with 2 massive losses like that. No one wants it. Yeah, failed was massive for it, and it got back on the bandwagon, I would say. Definitely did.
Yeah, it did. I want to talk about just a player, Jonny. How underrated is Georgia Gibson?
Severely underrated.
Nobody talks about she's a glamour player. She's that person. She glides, she goes past players, puts a top corner, but she goes really underrated, unnoticed a lot of the time.
I think that's just her personality as well, her character. She just wants to be unnoticed. She just wants to.
I think she'll let that out in the celebrations.
Possibly, but in terms of on the pitch, she just wants to go around her day job, do as well as she can, get on the score sheet, assist, create, try and do as much as she can to help the team, and then finish and just do what she has to do. Becky spoke to myself, I think, before. I think it might have been the Huddersfield game, I think, and she basically just said she wanted to take charge of the in terms of being the leader, in terms of doing the speech before the game, and she wasn't even playing. She started on the bench, but it was that important. And I think in terms of what she brings, she's not an Emma Kelly, she's not an Alicia Body, but what she is vital to Newcastle United in terms of being successful in that midfield battle, especially when Becky has predominantly played a diamond 4 in the middle of the park. So yeah, severely underrated, and she's been an absolute stalwart, which is scores on the big occasions, which we'll mention later on in the podcast.
Yeah, scores goals. Look at the last 3 seasons. Before we get into February, Dale, shame about Naomi Badu's injury.
Yeah, I know. Yet again, it's just with this season, unfortunately for the lasses, it's been the same as the men's. We've lost key players at certain stages. Because yet again, there's another one that was on the form.
Really well.
Then, but no one there. But it's a shame. But like I say, Leah Cataldo come in and she's played really well. And like I said, just gelled straight in the team, which is what you want, which is great.
Yes, February.
In February, and Amanda Stabley present once more, showing that she cares about the team. She actually joined in the celebrations at the end as Newcastle United came away against Wolves 3-0 at Kingston Parks. Debuts for Leah Cataldo and Paige Bailey-Gale, and Beth Lumsden got a first start, and the striker, Paige Bailey-Gale, did not disappoint. We'll join the action and the goal scorer, Paige Bailey-Gale, for a chat.
For this, should be screaming through it. Whoa! Debut! Yeah! Just keep running them. Keep going. Oh yeah! It's in.
Betty, congratulations. A good performance, a 3-0 win at home. How do you assess today?
Yeah, brilliant performance. I think, again, to keep another clean sheet's really important, but I think the attacking threat we posed today was brilliant. Two massively impactful players, Beth and Paige today. Obviously Leah played as well, who was really consistent. Didn't lose a 1v1 duel, I don't think, the whole game. So yeah, to see the 3 new players be starting the game and perform the way they did was fantastic. But yeah, it's a team effort, and I thought every single player was absolutely brilliant and gave everything for that black and white shirt.
Paige, welcome to Newcastle. Fantastic performance today, 2 goals. How do you feel?
I'm really happy. Obviously it would be nice to get a hat-trick, but I can't complain. It was a really good result from the girls. So another 3 points on the board, and we look forward to Burnley next week.
2 different types of goals. The first one, it's just a typical striker getting in the right area. How do you imagine that when you get, obviously, Beth on the right-hand side? Is it something that you've worked on in training, or is it just something that comes naturally to you?
I think sometimes the number 9's always got to make that near post run, so that if it does go there, then you're there, and if it doesn't, then I draw some players. And luckily, I made the right judgment. And
Baby girl, Jonny won, baby girl, rocking around.
You got.
Baby girl.
You've got so many fans.
Another huge game, Burnley away against promotional rivals. A win would seriously dent Burnley's hopes of promotion. We had Lee driving up down from the country. We had Dale on a bus. We had Joe on a different bus. We had Sam coming with his family. It was that big of an occasion for the lads from NFTV were there. However, the lasses put on a show, but not just any show. A comfortable 3-0 win thanks to goals by substitutes Casey Elson and Jazz McQuaid, with Paige Bailey-Gale scoring the middle goal. Let's join the action.
Just the kicker. Bring him out, that's it.
Oh, to see it. It's in. It's 2-0. It's that girl, Paige Bailey-Gale.
Go on, Joe.
Off the bench to score yet another brilliant goal. That is game, set and match.
Back to Kingston Park and a 2-1 gritty win over Derby thanks to our first goal for Newcastle, Beth Lumsden, and Paige Bailey-Gale once again starting her Newcastle career off in fine form, and results went Newcastle's way. Jonny grabbed Andy Cook and Emma Kelly for a chat after the win.
Big result today. Obviously Newcastle won here, but Forest could only draw away at Liverpool Feds. Let's bring up the league table. It's exciting times now. The promotion and the title is on course for Newcastle United. We are now 9 points clear of Forest in second place. Forest do have the game in hand.
Andy, congratulations. 2-1 win against Derby. Made hard work of it in the end after being so dominant, but you're over the line. That's all that matters at this stage.
Absolutely, yeah. I said to them in the huddle that when you win by a goal at this stage of the season, it can feel like 5-0 in September. You just get through these results and make sure you do everything you can to earn the right to play and to get through them. And we managed to do that. Yeah, we made hard work of it, but I think you've also got to give credit to Derby. They kept themselves within the tie.
Emma, congratulations. A big 3 points, a big win. How massive is that, considering obviously what a week we've had with the Burnley win last week?
Yeah, really big. Obviously coming off the back of last week, it was a great result, but I think we're just trying to focus on taking every week as it comes. Again, yeah, big 3 points today, and we just have to push on and look forward to the next now.
How did you find the battle with Derby? Because obviously they're a very, very good outfit, and especially strong towards the end of the game, and it seemed to be really, really close, especially towards the end.
Yeah, they're an excellent team. I think they set up really well against us last time and made it very hard for us to score. And they've done the same again today. I think we did have a few chances that we could potentially be more clinical with, but again, we're not going to focus on too much about what we miss. We've got the 3 points and we've won, and that's the main thing.
Coming up was the big one at St James's Park, the semi-final of the League Cup against Portsmouth. But Newcastle Fans TV were invited to a training session and chat to some players, and there's no doubt about it, the players were so excited.
We get the elephant out of the room. How are we looking forward to going back to St James's Park?
Oh, we can't wait. As soon as it got announced, there was just a massive buzz. I think we were having breakfast at the time, and it was great. Obviously, some of us who've already played there were buzzing in, and new additions who were going to get experience it for the first time. We can't wait for them to experience it. It'll be fantastic.
And at St James's Park, NFTV had media access. It's Jonny and Lee were in their press box watching on, running also a live commentary for the first time on NFTV at St James's Park. Let's see how the lasses got on and see if they made the final.
Looking for Charlotte Potts, it's in! It's 1-0 to Newcastle United!
What a header!
The local lass gets the opening goal in the semi-final. It's Newcastle United 1, Portsmouth 0, and Portsmouth have got an equaliser. And it's Emma Jones with the equaliser for Portsmouth. They were getting back into the game, but surely, but 3 passes have really cut into Newcastle's defence. And it's Emma Jones with a dink over the oncoming Donnelly. Will she look for the cross? She will, right-footed. Georgia Gibson makes it 2-1 in the 90th minute! Yes! Annie Cook goes down towards the Gallagher. Georgia Gibson, she just has a knack of scoring goals here at St James's Park. She celebrates the Gallagher. Anna Salisbury's just done a marathon run. Newcastle United have done it. They are in the final. It's finished here. Newcastle United 2, Portsmouth 1. What a game of football. But Newcastle United deserved it. They have beaten Portsmouth by 2-1.
No doubt about it, emotions were running high, celebrations were in order. Newcastle had made a major cup final for the first time in their history. What an achievement.
Indeed, for the lasses. We'll start off with February. 3-0 win over Wolves. Joe, I'll come over you for this one. A tricky one, because obviously Wolves always looked at and goes, oh, that's a tough fixture, whether it's home or away, but what a debut by Paige Bailey-Gill.
Unbelievable. Like that one, Jonny. It was unreal, the Wolves one. There was a lot of worry going into Wolves because Wolves had been a team who just literally the season before smashed us 5-0 out of the cup, and we were able to go in there and we made it look easy as well, didn't we? I mean, Bailey-Gill comes in on our debut, cracks in just 2 fantastic little goals. It was exactly what you want from the debut of a new striker, and it's what you want when you're going against a team who you are genuinely a little bit nervous about facing to be that dominant against. It was once again starting to feel like we're back in control. We've got this title. We're going for it, yeah. Let's run with it.
Good to see Leah got a debut. Beth's first start as well. So lots of debuts, lots of positives for Newcastle. 3-0 win over Wolves. We're saying this every time we're talking about a win. Seems to be like just easy for the lasses. But moving on to the big one, because that's where it got a lot of headlines. Jonny, if we won against Burnley, it would knock Burnley out, realistically out of contention.
Yeah, I think at the time we didn't really know if Burnley or Nottingham Forest is our biggest rival for the title. At that point, it was kind of up in arms because Burnley had the games in hand, but we'd already played for Nottingham Forest twice. And Forest had games on paper. We think, they're quite favourable. It was really, really weird, but we knew that if we beat Burnley, it was going to be very, very difficult. Newcastle would have to really capitulate at a really extreme level for Burnley to get back into it. And, first half 0-0, not really a lot in it. Burnley having a couple of chances, Newcastle having a couple of chances, but to get that goal early on in the second half with the free kick being well saved by the Burnley goalkeeper, who name escapes me, but she's been...
Kate Lavelle, is it?
I think whatever her name is in the 2 games, I thought she was really, really good. She made an outstanding save in the first half, in particular at Burnley. But Casey Elson getting that goal, and she seemed to just pop up with little goals at significant times throughout the season, which was really, really interesting. I think that can be something that you may need, particularly next season. But the back pass, which caused a lot of debate, didn't it? And Burnley was certainly unhappy with that free kick being awarded, that indirect free kick being awarded. Newcastle obviously were delighted, but not really asking for it. Referee probably made what was called a brave decision there. But big win, and Burnley were out of it, and Newcastle thought, well, it's between probably us and Nottingham Forest now. And that's where you go, ooh, they can actually do it, they can do it, they can do it, they can be in the Championship next season. Yeah,
Jazz McQuaid came off the bench as well, another one. Scoring, she scored that worldie in the previous games. Have totally just bypassed, by the way, which is contender for goal of the season. But deal for me, all the home and away games that we've covered, that's for me the best away performance period for me. You can talk about Wolves, which will come on in the moment, but overall, Burnley away was sensational.
It was crunch time. At the time, it was first versus third, but it was, what blew me away was like the composure by all the lasses was just unbelievable. They were just they were just all as one, just defend as a unit, attacking as a unit. And once that first goal went in, you could just see the relief of all the lasses there going, right, we can get one, we can get another, we can get another. And obviously, yet again, it was a great turnout. Away to Burnley, we absolutely...
Two coaches.
People
travelling in cars, brilliant.
Shout out to Causey Travel.
Even like on like...
I want a discount Causey every time we mention your travels.
Exactly. 5%.
Didn't Causey just win a competition, by the way, to get to sit in hospitality for the Brighton game a couple weeks ago?
He's won a few.
He always wins them?
He always wins.
It's
Michael.
Fix.
3 goals, 2 coaches, and 1 hospitality package. What's he doing these days?
But it was great though. Like the fans, it was just like you could tell the fan. We would like the 12th. Well, woman, wasn't it?
Oh, you nearly said it.
I nearly said it. I nearly said it. It's always the trap is that you get used to it.
I've done it this season.
You get it all there, but it was just a state. Like on the vlog, mainly both said on Joe's vlog statement. Like we are determined to win that promotion, and yeah. Again, what Jonny said, it was dubious because like me and Lee, we were confused. We don't even know what was happening. We were like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden it was like, is it a penalty? Is it a direct free kick? Score from it, but yeah, again, it just proves a statement in proud.
I think it also shows that the referee in this level is awful because for me that wasn't a free kick, but we still won. We'll take it, and obviously that for me, the amount of way we just dismantled Burnley on their own turf. See what I've done there? Yeah, it's not turf mud, but we'll still have easy, unbelievable, best away performance, and then. Joe, I'll come to you. We're not going into the game too much. I know you went at the Derby one away, a gritty 2-1 win, but Newcastle were 9 points clear after the Derby game because Forest had drew. But was it at this point were you adamant that the Lasses were going up?
Yeah, and it was the style of play that would change too as well. From the Derby game, looking back, obviously in your vlog, it was we were getting ahead in the games. And then we were just controlling it. We weren't going to score as many as possible. We already had a decent bit of goal difference. All we needed was points going forward. And it came to that point. At that point in the season, you're looking at it and you're going, right, we're 9 points clear. And we're controlling games rather than just going for the gusto, going for the flashy 5, 6, 7, 8 nils, whatever. We're going 1-2-0 up, 2-1 up, and we were holding the game, controlling it, putting an extra defensive midfielder on, defender on, moving to 4 at the back. It was looking like, yeah, we've got this in the bag. We keep this up, we've got this now.
Yeah, because sometimes you need a gritty, horrible win because we can't always win 4, 5, 6, 7s every week, can we? So, obviously, the training ground, the big one you had, Jonny. Joe interviewed Grace, and we obviously heard her say that was buzzing to be back at St James's Park. But first time that NFTV had live streamed at St James's Park. It's great. How do you feel? How did it go for you? How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel great, mate.
Inside joke.
I feel great. In all seriousness, it's for me as a young lad loving Newcastle United. For me, I would have rather seen.
Well, on YouTube, you can comment what his age is.
1950. No, we're joking. No, but I think from watching Newcastle for so many years, I've always been intrigued, especially when I was younger. What's that press box? What is it? What can we? Why do we have that there? And to have experienced that a few times now, and the first time to essentially commentate on the game, really, Lee, wasn't it? That's what we basically there to do.
NFTV commentating.
Exactly, and it was great to do that at St James's Park. And you know, I'm openly saying I don't watch myself back. I don't really like doing that, but in terms of a learning side of things for me personally, it's something I do look back on and saying, what can I do to improve on that side of things? But generally speaking, the enjoyment, the excitement, the just feeling of, I don't know what's the correct word, the feeling of just a team and a club that's going in the right direction was perfect with that Georgia Gibson goal at the end, because Anna Soulsby running towards the players, Andy Coop doing a half marathon by the look of it. But it was a fantastic day, and yeah, really, really happy to be a part of that. Was fantastic.
It was class. Dale, you were there. Joe, you were there for your family, the little ones, your brother. Everyone was emotional. We even seen with Amber Keegan-Stubbs just before kickoffs was quite literally, not the first time, in tears.
It was a special moment. I know we've been to St James's Park before, but we were fighting to be in a final. This wasn't just fighting to move up the league a little bit. It wasn't nothing like any of the other times. It was a special moment. It was a moment that a lot of people took the families for the first time, and it was my brother and his daughter's first women's game. It was my partner's daughter. It was her first women's game. And there was many around her who felt that same sentiment. And for the likes of Amber Keegan-Stubbs, such a black and white lass through and through to walk out and see that reception. War Flag's putting on a fantastic display. Best display we've had for the women so far, maybe except one of the later ones at Kingston Park. It was just magical. It really was. It was something special. And like Jonny said, 90th minute, Georgia Gibson scores. You've got no choice but to lose your voice at something like that. You're screaming, you're dancing, you're bouncing. It's what dreams are made of. And since the 90th minute, it was.
What is the deal about Georgia Gibson at St James's Park at the Gallagher?
I know I was thinking out there when I said that. She was like, it's one of them things. As growing up, you always wanted to be playing for Newcastle and wanting to score in the Gallagher. It's one of them things. It's like you want. I don't know what it is about the Gallagher, but it's just you just want to score in front of
Every kid's dreaming it. And whether you're a man or woman, it's a dream. And she's had that numerous times now become reality. So fair play to her. Major Cup final deal, I'll stay with you as well. Shows where the club are going places.
Exactly. That's what the project was. It's just to show like how progression we've gone. Like a couple of years ago, we were like in the 4th and 5th tier, and we're now just one more season. Like in the Super League, just how quickly the owners have just like took on board like the project and quickly how far it is. It's just not just the men's that's progressing; it's the women's, which is incredible to see because that's what you want. You want the men and women's to do really well, and it's. And like I'm so proud to be a joy just see watching the men, watching the women, and it's just great to see. And we're just gonna go stronger and stronger and more and more.
Gotta make Joe cry over here, you know.
Jonny first.
just before we're heading to March, because Johnny's going to shoot out and leave us. Alicia Body kind of picked up an injury in March, didn't she? And it was do you think we could cope all right, or is she miss?
Fortunately, we do have the players around her in terms of her position that can come in and do a job. We've seen even defenders like Hannah Greenwood moving a little bit further into the midfield that did a job in certain games, and we were kind of worrying a little bit going, there's some big games coming up. Can we cope? But just a word on Alicia Body, my player of the season. She is for me. She's Newcastle have had some outstanding players this season, but I don't think any of them are as good as Alicia Body. I think I think she controls the tempo, controls the game. She is a miss when she's not involved, but Newcastle did do well when she wasn't there. But when she is there, Newcastle is so much better. It's so much better to watch. She like I say, as I've mentioned, because she controls the tempo, everything starts with her in that midfield, and it is key, and you can tell she's played at a high level. So yeah, that she is a miss when she's not playing, but Newcastle did well without her when she wasn't there.
We'll miss her more next season when the quality has to go up. But yeah, so let's move on to March, and a lot of things happened in this month.
March now, and 4 away trips in a row, and a lot of them around the Birmingham area, plus a cup final. 5 games in total, as the other one is at Kingston Park later on in the month. So let's begin with a trip to Stoke, where Newcastle picked up another 3 points thanks to a 4-1 away win, with goals by Katie Barker, Georgia Gibson, Jasmine McQuaid, and great to see Bridget Galloway back on the goal scoring sheet.
Too comfortable, I think. Yeah. Too comfortable, I think. Yep. Got it right.
Yeah, that's it. Bridget score.
And up against Stourbridge, where Georgia Gibson scored a brace and Emma Kelly also netted. Let's join the action.
It was comfortable for Newcastle, and you know, the Nottingham Forest game, I did say I'll get you up to date with it, that was postponed, so Newcastle will go 3 points further ahead. You can see the league table now, so, and obviously Burnley have played today as well, but it's effectively, it's in this league there's so many games in hand, so you can't really celebrate yet. But if Newcastle were to mess it up, considering how many points we are in front of how many games are left, it would be an absolute disaster if Newcastle don't do it.
This is the game that a lot of fans were marking on as the toughest fixture where Newcastle might slip up. And for a lot of fans, this is the most important win of the season, considering Newcastle went 2-0 down. But Newcastle United never say die attitude, turned it around in style thanks to substitute Casey Elson, another goal by Jazz McCrae, and a bullet header by Katie Barker.
This is a sign of champions for me, Sam, because we're now 12 points clear. Yes, Forest have got 2 games in hand. Even if they win that, the games are running out. That is a sign of champions for me.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. 2-0 at half-time. It could have been damage limitation in the second half. No, subs were made. They set their stall out. From minute 1 in that second half, they were attacking and had a great chance early doors. When they got the equaliser, that could have been that. But no, kept pushing for the winner, got the winner, and they were still pushing for a 4th goal. Could have took it down the corner here. But
there she is. There's Katie Barker, the goal-scoring machine.
Ridiculous header.
Well done. Well done.
Ridiculous header.
Unbelievable.
The big one, the cup final at Kenilworth Road. Newcastle Fans TV had the opportunity, thanks to Joe, to host the fan zone. And in Kenilworth Road, Newcastle fans outnumbered by 8-1. NFTV had press pass once again. However, it was a heartbreaking day for Newcastle United.
So we've got us to the 22nd minute. 22nd minute means Anna Soulsby's turned 22 today.
So devastation at the end as Newcastle United lost the final. Sadly, they just didn't turn up on the day. But we got Joe to speak to Becky Langley and Emma Keegan-Stubbs on what was a heartbreaking defeat.
So we are with Amber Keegan-Stubbs after, as we've heard, it's a heartbreaking loss, of course, Amber, but how proud are you of the lasses for getting this far?
So proud. It's a massive part of our journey. Devastating now, but these are the ones where you come closer together, pick yourself up and stay on task for what we want to achieve beyond this, and it's just honestly heartbreaking.
We are with Becky Langley, proud manager of Newcastle United Women. Becky, straight up, we've heard it's heartbreak, it's this, it's that. League or cup, what are you picking?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely picked the league because we want to obviously push on and win promotion, but that doesn't make today any easier. We're hugely disappointed. I'm sure the players have said that in their interviews, but we've just got to use this now as fuel to make sure that we we kick on and make sure those 4 league games are done and dusted.
And the last game of the month back at home, finally in front of 4,200 fans as Liverpool Feds were at Kingston Park. But that didn't stop a rampant Newcastle United scoring 5 to march on even closer towards the title. We've seen goals by Paige Bailey-Gale grab a hat-trick, and then we also seen Hannah Greenwood and Jasmine McQuaid score. We'll also join Jonny, who's grabbed Becky and Paige for another chat.
George girls, bring it up, I cry when we come round. And that's a two little George girls for that vicious.
I believe it. There you go, that's the ball.
Fantastic performance by the lasses to comfortably win 5-1 today against Liverpool Feds, and Derby and Nottingham Forest have drew, which means that Newcastle United are so close now to clinching the title. The next home fixture is in 2 weeks' time. By that stage, it could already be a celebratory day.
Congratulations, another win at Kingston Park. It was almost a champion's performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was, for everybody, we were still hurting from last weekend, so we needed to make sure that we responded well today. And yeah, obviously the feeling of winning feels so much better, after the disappointment of the cup final. But yeah, just really pleased for the girls. I thought we performed really well. Disappointed not to keep the clean sheet, of course. But yeah, fantastic.
So how do you look at those goals when you look at them back now?
I think it's just composure, really. Like, I've had a few games of not scoring. And I think the main thing was that I don't put pressure on myself, and the team hasn't done that. So I think it's a team effort, and obviously people putting the ball in behind for me, put it on a plate really for me to just finish it. Was the main thing. So just keep calm, in front of goal. And today I got 3, so I'm happy.
Paige Bailey-Gale. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that long clip. Jonny has departed, and it's just us 3 left. Because we love to talk about football, and we're here for you. So if you're enjoying this pod, please give us a 5-star review. March then, Joe, I'll come to you. A fantastic start away from home. Little Ferdinand, my dog, got a little away trip as well. Yeah, anything in the air he barks at. I want to point about Bridget, because we've talked about her, but it was good to see her score.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was really nice. She'd been on a drought. She'd struggled a bit, and when you seen Paige Bailey-Gale come in, you started to think, is this the beginning of the end for Bridget Galloway? And she bangs a lovely little goal in, and you're like, nah, Bridget's still there. She's still a big goal scorer. She's still a big impact on this team, and she's someone who you want there up front to be able to rotate with Paige Bailey-Gale. Sometimes defences have a person's number. Seeing Bridget score that day, you saw it on her as well, though, didn't you? She was really. It was like her weight was kind of left off her shoulders, and yeah, it was nice seeing her go forward and score again. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, Barker, Gibson, McQuaid with the other goals as well, but a comfortable 4-1 away win against Stoke, and the title promotion was edging closer. Back to home game, another comfortable 3-0. No, it was another away one. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Because this was a run of 4 away fixtures in a row, which was a test, and it was a comfortable 3-0 win down in Stourbridge. Just me down there. At this stage, Dale, was it a case of when Newcastle win the league, not if now?
Yeah, it was definitely when we're going to win it, because, like I say, we were ahead, so obviously they got to hunt us down. So basically, if any team drop points, it was basically going to be, we just got to match them and easy there. But it was still, you knew it was kind of be there. It was just, we're wanting just like, in a way, I just want to just hand with the title. We know we've won it. I was that confident we were going to easily get over the line. And I just wanted, like, the lasses to just praying to be a home when we did win it.
Yeah, we were miles in front by this stage. Miles in front. And another away fixture, which for me is the turning point, showing you that you're the sign of champions. I asked Becky Langley off camera when I was next to Sam, and I said to Becky, that comeback is a sign of champions for me. You're 2-0 down half-time. You're hoping for a draw. You make a triple sub at half-time. Game changes. Newcastle go and win 3-2 and a bullet header by Katie Barker, which you've seen there. But the best turnaround quite clearly this season, isn't it?
Without doubt.
Yeah, I'll put in as well. I don't think it's the best away performance, but is it the most impressive in terms of how we've came back?
Without doubt. And it's sometimes when you see a team go 2-0 down, you see them come back and make that comeback over two halves. Yeah. We came back in one half off some major substitutions that flipped the game on its head. Obviously, I wasn't there, but watching the vlog back and watching the footage that was coming through, hearing from people messaging and seeing it was just like a completely different team. Now that is a sign of champions. That is a sign of a huge team. Not just a small little team who's made a lucky comeback. No, that's a sign of a team who goes, okay, we need people off because they're not doing the job today. Come off the pitch, get 3 people on who are potentially going to change it, and that's exactly what happened. It shows the growth in Becky Langley as well when you think about it, how long she's been managing that team.
Tactically.
Yes, tactically now, to be able to sit there and put all emotion aside and go, I need to make these changes right now, and to do it and to come back 3-2. Oh, one of the few games that I am devastated I missed being there, because that would have been absolute scenes.
It was. You seen the celebration of Katie Barker running off and Becky joining in. It shows you, Dale, that this win was one hand on the trophy now.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell at half-time Becky had a proper strong words at the lasses.
Being polite.
Very much so.
Well, polite, but in a way it's one of them things, isn't it? You've got to be cruel, kind of like got to be cruel to be nice kind of thing. Like, you need, when you're 2-0 down and you're gunning for a title, you need to have them strong words. And I think it's going to be them strong words. It's like, if you want this title that much, you got 45 minutes to go out there and do the business. And look what happened. 3-2. Come back, and yet again, it wasn't, for me, that 3-2 win, it wasn't just one hand on that trophy, on the title. It was 2 hands with the champagne already in, going, right, that's what we've done. We've come from 2-0 down to a promotion rivals, and we've won you 3-2 in the back door. That just proves we're going to win this, and we're going to drink from that. We're going to drink the champagne from that cup. It's
only
awesome.
Amanda Staveley's allowed to do that. Right, the devastating one. Joe, how did you feel, first of all, from your own experience running the fan zone and being asked to do it?
Electric. That was the one when it came to it. Speaking to the guys when we were talking about setting it up, and just being asked, like, the energy you bring to these matches, you'll be the right one to lead it. And without doubt, massive shout to me General and Commandant Bernie, who the doors got opened early, and Bernie sort of kept them sweet till we got there, set it up, and the party began. It wasn't truly, like, you hear this often, I don't want to sound cliche, it was an honour. It was a real honour, really humbled us, and it felt really good to just be out there and be like, right, we're starting this party right. It was beautiful. I will do a million more. I'll say that now. I would happily do any amount. Massive high from it. I didn't come down. I think that's what made the following events even harder, because I was on never mind cloud 9, I was on cloud 16, 18, you know, like, I was out there, I was feeling amazing, and then obviously what we're going to go into happens. It was a bigger drop, but phenomenal, absolutely amazing, lovely, loved it.
Lovely as it is. The venue though, Dale, why is it a Kenilworth? I know, I guess the anniversary, but such a poor venue.
Yeah, I totally agree. It should have been in a bigger venue, but it was, if they wanted to, I think it was like, was it 150 years or something like that?
Something like the 40th anniversary of the first England game there.
So that's why they wanted, like, I can get where they come from, because it's an anniversary of a major thing for the women and all that. I don't understand that, but come on, it's a final. It's either you have it like, well, Wembley, or you try and get a bigger ground which can hold, like, even if it was like a 20,
ground that should be more located an hour north at least.
Yeah, exactly, because obviously you want both teams, it's like, I don't know if Portsmouth ever has been in a cup final or anything like that. For the lasses, for the first ever final for the lasses, you want a bigger venue. Like, obviously, all the crowd there. Yeah, we got beaten in the final, but still, to make a final, I'm so proud of the lasses, what they've done. They went to Manchester, like was said earlier, we got beat, but it was a proud moment. We went down there and performed. We went in the cup, final. We performed again, and it's great to see. This is why I'm so proud to be a Geordie. Like these occasions, we're gonna have lots more of them, but like the first ever occasion, you've got to be proud of them, no matter what. And I've never been so proud of the last.
Despite it being 4 hours drive, as we definitely experience.
Oh yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the fan community was brilliant. Which I am going to bring that up later. But yeah, 4 hour drive, and it was outnumbered hashtag by something like 8-1, which was mental. But what happened, Joe? Was it just a case of it was just that one game of all the games you could pick this season where we had an off game, or a hashtag that good?
No, hashtag are not that good. Hashtag are a great team. Full respect to hashtag. Hashtag showed up on the day. If Newcastle...
If that game's replayed.
If that's replayed and we show up on the day, I know a lot of the lasses, a lot of the families and such, the main reason they walked away from that performance disappointed, and this is what I said earlier when I said about the difference in the interviews. From Manchester United, we got beat 5-0. We walked away because we give our best performance on that day. We went out and we did ourselves proud and showed our best performance that we're used to. Hashtag the final at Kenilworth Road. I don't like saying it, but it's one day where we came out and we walked away with our heads low because it wasn't our best performance. It wasn't normal Newcastle. Yeah. Even when we have off days, we perform well. It was horrible to be there. Everyone felt devastated. And sometimes you've got to look at it. Is it a situation where the pressure was too much? The league title...
Is that because we were expected to win it?
Yes, we were expected. Loads of people, and this is why I say respect the hashtag, loads of people look and go, hashtag United, what sort of football team's that being called a hashtag? Well, a hashtag have fought. They've had a journey very similar to Newcastle's, and they've got to where they were, and they deserve to be there. And it was the pressure. We were the Giants, and what's better than a giant slaying story in the history of football?
Yeah, David Goliath, and it was just obviously it was awkward afterwards having an interview, and I pushed Joe to do them because it was just seeing their faces devastated. It was really, really tough. Awkward to be around as well because you know them. You've built relationships with these lasses, and I see sometimes I joke on, sometimes I say these more than my family because sometimes I do. But it's mental that we've got this building connection we felt for them. But it was the first time after that for 6 weeks back at home. Incredible. 6 weeks away from Kingston Park because the other one was played at St James's Park, the cup game. 5-1 win over Liverpool Feds. We had to bounce back because the lull of that, we needed to, right, okay, let's kick on. With a few games left of the season to win the league, we had to win. Doesn't matter, the scoreline's great, but I would have took a 1-0.
Exactly, that's what I said. Me and you were both in the car on the way up to Kingston Park. We turned around and said, oh, well, since it's what I would say, I would happily take a tough 1-0 win. Just even if it was a grinding 1-0 win, I would take it just to get that momentum back. But by God, did Newcastle lasses turn up? Oh, hell yes, they did. They come out and put a statement yet again. It's like to the doubters that might be, we may bottle lip. The lasses just come out and just went, no, what, bang, have this. Bang, have this. We won 5-1. And it's now back in our hands. It Huddersfield, all we needed. If the results went our way, it was 1 point against Huddersfield, and then we'll be champions. And yet again, at that Liverpool Feds, the fans broke another record then. And then it just proves how much the lasses have coming from Druids Park, which was what later on what Becky said in the interview was about 10 fans, players' families, and a dog and all that there to I think at the time it was 7,200 at the time, and then the next one, and then against Huddersfield, we broke it again, which is incredible. So this is why the lasses is just technically just going from strength to strength and putting the doubters wrong, going, you know what, doubt we if you want, but we know for fine fact when we play this great, we can do damage.
Doing damage. We are into the final clip. I've got some celebrations to show you. He has April and May.
And here it is, Newcastle United have been crowned champions. It's what Becky, Andy Coop, the rest of the players, the fans, everybody wanted. And the lasses have done it. Even Amanda Stavey joined in and was so emotional. What an incredible achievement, back-to-back promotions. Over 7,300 people in attendance at Kingston Park, which is just mental. Let's join the action as Newcastle won 10-0. We don't have all the goals, but we have most of them. And then we'll hear from Amber Keegan-Stubbs, Jodie Bartle and Becky Langley.
Goldbush, and Ethan, you start with
Scene. Amber, congratulations. Back-to-back promotions. It does not get any better than that, does it?
It doesn't, and what a performance today. Like, yes, we've won the league, we're in Championship, but like today we wanted to focus on the 90 minutes. We did that, and we did it well, and just buzzing.
10 goals, 10 out of 10 performance, Champions performance.
Yep, and the 10th goal scored by our number 10, class. Just unreal, like, good performance today, but we're in the Championship, playing black and white in Newcastle, we're top of the league, we're in Championship. Look at this, like, it's just mad. It's mad.
Jodie, congratulations, back-to-back promotions, Champions, absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely buzzing. It's difficult to sort of describe how I'm feeling, but pure elation. Like, last season, I know I wasn't here last season, but I was there on the last day, to be fair, and like the buzz that was there was awesome, and now to be a part of that proper buzz, it's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. It means absolutely everything to all of us. We've worked so hard behind the scenes, and obviously it means so much to Amanda to see a group of women being empowered as a part of the football club. So yeah, her investment in myself and the team has been unbelievable. The whole football club has. Everyone couldn't do more to support us. So yeah, it's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but yeah, we'd all just feel absolutely delighted.
On to the final two league fixtures, both away from home. Newcastle travelled the short distance down to Leeds to play Halifax, but it ended in a 0-0 draw. The best piece of entertainment was Joe, actually. But it was absolutely fantastic to see Jodie Bartle back in action after such a long-term injury.
Don't let the side go. Salisbury's baggy top, Salisbury's baggy top.
Draw it was, but it was a great performance, and we're with the one and only Jodie Bartle. She is back on the pitch. How did that feel?
I'm buzzing to be back, honestly. I was just talking to someone else. I worked it out. It's 196 days I was out since I last played, and it's not even like I've had a couple of minutes here and there. I've just been thrown straight in to go and smash 90 minutes. So
90 minutes.
It's frustrating not to get the win, but we didn't concede, and being a defender, that's a huge thing for me. So yeah, buzzing to come back. 90 minutes, clean sheet, happy days.
And on to the final game, the fixture in the warm sunshine in Redditch as Newcastle United took on West Brom, which was a difficult first half, but the lasses turned on the style in the second with a wonder strike from Tyler Dodds, Casey Elson tapping, and goals by substitutes Shauna Wilkinson and Anna Soulsby. Tears did flow at full time, as it's likely that the two girls I've just mentioned there have probably played the last game of the club, which they are distraught. Emotions were definitely running high.
Let's take a look at the final league table of the season. The Lasses double promotion. You know, we've seen Ipswich get a lot of praise recently. The Lasses deserve it as just as much. Back-to-back promotions into the Championship, where they'll face tougher opposition. Newcastle have further to travel as well for the fans. But hopefully you have enjoyed our coverage, matchday stuff this season. We've been to every single game bar one. Hopefully have enjoyed the content that we have provided, because I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. But that's it for me. That's a wrap, everybody. Hope you enjoyed all the goals there. See you next season indeed for all the vlogs, but a lot of cram in there. So we'll start with Huddersfield with you, Dale. Dale, over 7,300 turned to Kingston Park, which is mental, isn't it?
It is. It's just incredible. It just shows how far the Lasses have come. From the start of the season, it was always high, but it was just gradually getting more and more and more. And it's just great to see just the passion of the fans that's coming out and watching the Lasses. I know it's not going to be the same attendance as the men, because obviously there, but it's still great to see attendance getting broke every time. And they even beat the Newcastle Falcons.
I think the Falcons have just beaten them again.
Yeah.
But next season, the Lasses are just going to beat that again, because we're in the Championship. So it's great to see. Like it's great to see. Just like in its Spurs, the Lasses are more. They're having the chance, it's spurring them on to go and get to put on a performance for us fans.
Was that the best performance at home this season, 10-0?
Most entertaining, without doubt. Most entertaining performance the whole season. Best home performance, I would like to say so, thinking off the top. If I sat down for like a good 15-20 minutes and broke it down, maybe I would be able to put up another contender. But recent memory, It was phenomenal. We showed class from start to finish. We went in with a mission, and we did every single thing right and then some to attain that mission. And it was testament to what we've been like this season. We finished the season winning the title in the exact same way we started it. Big goals, big score lines, dominating and make the other teams look like they are tiers below. Not just one tier below, making teams look like they were tiers below. Unreal.
Speaking of tiers, they were happy tiers. Dale, I'll come to you. We're seeing obviously Amanda Staveley was in tiers. So many happy celebrations, because we said at hashtag goes, just give it a couple of weeks. Come on, lasses, a couple of weeks and we'll have happy tiers. By God, the celebrations were class, weren't they?
It was. It just, yet again, it just proves how close in a family the Newcastle Lasses are to each other. They're all, like Becky, the staff, everyone there, they're all there for each other. Yeah, we got beaten to find out there was tears. They were all come together. They come at win, lose or draw as a team, as a family. And that's what you need. That is what you need. Yeah, you got to make some sacrifices. You may lose like games along the way. But the main thing is, the main focus for the Lasses was mainly getting a double promotion to the Championship. And I know for fine fact the seasons we're doing a preview now, they're already focused on getting the Championship and getting onto the Super League. That's their focus now, is going, right, how far can we push ourselves now to also sending a statement out to your Championship teams. Like, we beaten teams, like this season, the scoreline's 10-0s, 11-3s, like 4-0s, 3, and all them. It just proves like we don't really concede a lot of goals, but we're scoring a lot of goals, which is going to strike. If I was in the Championship now, I'd be kind of worried, going, whoa, if that's them there from a third tier and going into a second one, you would kind of like, whoa, we've got to actually take these serious. Because I know fine fact next season we are not going to be worried about getting relegated. We are going to be fighting for that promotion.
So huge celebrations. Joe, what was going on in the after party? You were there?
No, I can't tell you that, man. It was too much.
Well, I know, but the public might want to know.
Look, you guys.
Yeah, we were there.
I mean, the video we got that I got in the footage that I put out there, Like there was issues. There was, because it was just such a bounce. I'm surprised I got as much footage as I did because I was getting dragged about. I mean,
surprised you were allowed to film that as well.
I know it was really, really nice.
Showing a flare indoors.
What I wanted to put onto as well is the gratitude these lasses have for the fans and for the work that ourselves do. So many of them came over and said thank you. So many of them came over and mentioned the community. Amber Stobbs, me, Amber and Amber's partner stood there for about 5-10 minutes and had a full-on conversation, not about the trophy, which blew my mind, but it was just about the community that we've built. It was about, you know, like, we're stood there talking about Amber's been served coffee by my partner and we're talking about that. Not the trophy we just won. You had, speaking of Amber Stobbs, you had Amber on the table dancing away with Georgia Gibson. I believe I might get a little slap on the wrist for announcing this one, but they did set the fire alarm off in there as well because they decided to light the cake up inside the venue at Kingston Park. Fire alarms are going off. The lasses are partying, dancing, shouting. Becky's drinking out the trophy. Becky's getting more put into the trophy and she's passing it round everyone. Drink, 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 drink. It was phenomenal. You could tell that this was a moment where they all just went,
That's what I've been working for.
yeah, we've done it. They'd hit every goal they wanted to hit and they could relax. And by goodness, well, relax is the wrong word. They partied hard, very, very hard. Who's the biggest party animal? You might all be wondering. I can't pick one.
Not Miss Salisbury.
No, Anna's mental as well, though. Anna, at one point, obviously, there's no Geordie girls. Anna comes running up to us, grabs us from round the neck and just drags us into the room and headlock. I'll keep this PG, but basically she says, hurry up, you're going in there because your song's getting played and you're performing it for her. And that was the moment where I was like, every single one of these are as mad as any of us, like, because they were all just bouncing, singing, jumping, drinks are flowing. It was mental. Tyler's up on a pool table. Anna's making sure people are in our Ecstatica tops. Great clothing line. Go and check Ecstatica out, by the way. But yeah, everyone's bouncing. Becky, I have never seen Becky so unprofessional.
Let her hair down, literally.
Literally let her hair down. Yeah, Becky was just on one. Andy was on one. Everyone was buzzing. Thank you, Steve Kelly, for buying us a pint. Parents in there, everyone was just so happy. It was euphoria. It was like, for real, it was like, you know, when you're young, you go to your mate's 18th and everyone's just on cloud nine. That's it.
I got told that you forgot your own lyrics, Joe.
Yeah, I did. I forgot my own lyrics in front of the whole team, and I had Alicia Body standing screaming in my face. Get this, right? Alicia Body guys going, "How Ken Jarrett to your song? You're messing it up." That was censored as well.
Class, absolutely class. If you want more stories like that, message show. Follow me on the socials.
Loads of them.
And so fantastic. Obviously, that went on and that was talked about for days on end. But Newcastle still had to complete the season. They had 2 games left, which was 2 away trips. Me and Joe, little Ferdinand, another away trip, and Emmy.
Yeah.
Little Emmy got on our first away trip, which was brilliant. Not probably the most nicest of games, to be honest, but we absolutely battered Halifax. We couldn't break the door down, but their goalkeeper was in good form, wasn't it? 0-0.
Incredible, their goalkeeper. If they hadn't had the goalkeeper they had that day, that would have been another 6-7-8-0 easy. No disrespect to the rest of their team, but wherever mistakes were being made outfield, their goalkeeper every single time, and it's not often you can say that about a goalkeeper, but every single mistake that she had to pick up, she did. She done wonderful. Can't fault her. We done brilliant on the day. Jodie done absolutely amazing to come back onto the pitch and do a full 90 minutes. Like, I don't know what she's done to annoy Becky and Andy, but to put her back onto the pitch for a full 90 after coming back was something else, but she'd done amazing. It was great.
That's what I want to touch upon, Dale. I'll let you speak about that Jodie Bartle. I think she knows exactly how many days she's been out, which is mental, but such a long time. What was it, 4 or 5 months, wasn't it? Good chunk of the season, so
yeah.
Great to see her back.
It was great to see her back.
And she's a character, and I think she's grown to love, from an outsider coming in, to love the club and love the fans.
Yeah, even when she was out, she was there. She volunteered to join Aaron and doing obviously commentating on the games, which I find is great, because like it's kind of like helping your mental, like obviously our mentality going, I want to get back into this team, I want to play for Newcastle, and then even like she interacts with the fans, even like going from the commentary booth down back to the changing rooms there, she always interacts with all the fans, which is great. To see her on the pitch again now is just incredible. Just like, yeah, she got thrown in the 90 minutes, but Becky and Andy know for fine fact that the league was done, so they can afford to give her longer time. And then obviously, on precaution, it'll be like, right, don't burn yourself, don't like launch yourself into challenges, just ease your way back in and just let me know if you're feeling a bit tired or like it's starting to ache a bit there, and then we can take you off kind of like that. So it's precautions there, but it's great to see her back on the pitch. It really is.
She hit the bar as well. Imagine if that went in.
that would have been ideal if she come back.
Hit the bar for Rega. So another away one, the final one in the season down in Redditch on a really warm day. And it was a difficult first half. Newcastle couldn't break down, but turned on the style 4-0 away, second half in particular. A fantastic way to end the season. But I want to touch upon, before we talk about that game and, there's different goal scorers, another fan party. And again, Joe, we'll come to this. We've seen it with the community that, there's so many names that you could mention. Is anyone in particular from the Newcastle fan base who help build this that you would like to thank personally?
Oh, personally, the community.
I'll help you if I can remember.
You've got Angela
Brady.
Angela Brady. You've got Michael Colwood.
Yeah.
You've got a one who doesn't get sung about too much, but he does a lot of work, and that's Pete Adnett.
Yeah.
Pete and his partner are always there mucking in, helping, whether they're helping Cozy or whether they're helping Angela. They're always there to help. Pete's a really good assistant. Obviously, David and Lorraine, fantastic couple.
We love you, David.
People are probably sat here wondering, hold on, Joe's listed off 5 or 6 people here. How hasn't he mentioned the one?
Yeah.
The one.
The
cheerleader. A lot of people give me the praise for making the noise, but at the end of the day, long time ago when I first started coming to the Lady Mags matches, a certain person was stood there with a very loud noise, a very loud voice, screaming every chant under the sun, every person's name, and that person is none other than obviously Bernie Heppel-Marshall, and all of Bernie's family. Dawn, you've got Raymond, Charlotte's dad, you've got little Emily, you've got Danielle, you've got so many of them who come along now. There's a group of about 15 of the Potsy bunch, as I call them. And it all comes from Bernie, and Bernie has done an absolutely phenomenal job of getting everyone together, to getting everyone to keep this community. And it's brought on moments like the recent party, which was organised by Jamie and Dan.
Yeah,
and Jamie and Dan only started coming about, I think both of them admit they only started coming about...
Start of the season, started coming to away games halfway through the season, and you've got them going and making events like that, and the Hooked, they want to get more people in, selling tickets for War Flags to raise money. It's incredible. Shout out to War Flags, you've got
of course.
The parents, families are there. You've got Julie's now a character with a shoot.
You've got Grace's family.
Yeah.
Whack it! Love you, Sheila. Honestly.
You hear a little thing in the background. So it's different to a men's, and it's hard to explain if you haven't been there, but it's more of a family unit, and you see the same people on a regular basis, and the things that they're doing, the events and charity, and obviously you can see above Dale's head, get yourselves, as I say, onto that Facebook group, join it. You'll learn a lot more as well, interact. You name it, join the Newcastle United Women's fan group.
And be introduced to Stat Walby. What a man.
Matt knows his stats, does his homework, did an article for us a couple of months back, so brilliant. But yeah, so we won 4-0, but some upset faces that you've seen on the clips there from Anna and Shauna. At this stage, Dale, judging by their reaction, does that tell you that they've left the club or leaving the club, or they've been told? At that stage,
I hope not, because
for me it did. It looked like
it, but I hope it is, because obviously Anna's a brilliant. Honestly, she's a great character, and you need them kind of characters in a group, because obviously if you saw some of the clips there, Anna she's just it's kind of like the joke of the pack, just like Joy is for us. That's what you need. You need them, but them tears,
hurts.
It really hurts. It's like the sacrifices they've made, and it'd be a shame.
It's reality, unfortunately, and it did look like at that stage, it looked a bit worrying after they came out the huddle that 2 of them break down, and no one else did. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people going up to console them, but It was tough to be around because I hung around for a good hour and a half afterwards, just chatting with people, and it was tough to say that. It really was, because they're obviously two Geordie lasses. I know you've got a fondness with her, haven't you, Anna?
Yeah.
What about
One thing I want to mention, I was shout out to the black and white shop as well, though, but one thing about Anna, Dale mentioned about how black and white she is. Look, we've got a lot of people on that team who are black and white through and through. Anna Soulsby is something else, and the top that is on from the black and white shop right now, black and white life always. That is something that if you asked me of who you would put next to that, it's Anna Soulsby. She bleeds black and white. She lives and breathes black and white. She loves not just the club, but this city. I really hope that Anna doesn't go. I would love to see her right out to the very last sunset with her. If it has to be, it has to be. Football is a very harsh industry, and it would most certainly be the most heartbreaking loss I've ever seen in Newcastle, black and white for me. So Chiara's hoping that is just a matter that Anna has loved the season and didn't want the season to end. So,
how would you describe this season? If you were speaking to a stranger and you had to describe Newcastle United's season,
I would say a roller coaster of emotions, because you've got the highs, you've got the lows, then you go back to the highs, then you go to the medium, and then it's just. But that's what you like. That's what I love about football. You got obviously in a season you're going to have the highs, you're going to have the lows and all, and the disappointments and all that. But at the end of the day, that's what football is. You can't script football. It's like everyone says it's like pen, like you can't put like a team sheet out and go, all right, that's going to win, that's going to win, that's going to win. It just all depends on the day. And this season has been that. You couldn't predict anything.
I'm going to call it a love affair. I think it is. It is literally a love affair. This is why we do it. This is why we're sat here for 3 hours doing podcasts and stuff. It genuinely is. You know, and I'd also call the community that we talked about before, like comrades. You literally do anything for them. And now we've got that community, and like obviously the girls are part of that as well. So we're a unit that go as one and support them. And when I say support, it is actually proper support. It's not jumping on your social media saying such and such had a poor game and all this stuff like they do with the men. It's totally different. Everything is positive with the women, and I love that. Joe, how would you describe this season?
People often say living the dream. It was magical and it was living the dream. This season has felt amazing. We've been to finals, we've been to away games up and down the country, we've experienced parties, we've experienced dominating performances, we've experienced some heartbreaking bottoms where we've all stuck together. Team and fans, we've all stuck together. It's like you say, support. It truly has been support. We've supported each other from the very lows to the very highs. It has been a very, very magical season, and I think everyone would love to imagine that this is the top tier of football that the women can reach, and we're going to stay here forever, and this is exactly how it's going to be forever. You don't want this to change. I know we're going to go up, but more heartbreaking things that are going to be hard to take are going to happen, and I would love for just to capture this moment, put it in a bottle, and just keep it there forever. It's been something else.
And that's why we create the videos for the memories we'll look back on. Yeah, some fun bits, the final bit of the pod. Right, here we go. I want a reason why you're giving the answer as well. I want, Dale, your most improved player over the course of the season, and why you're picking that player.
Oh, that's a hard one.
If you can't think, I'll go, because
I'll go Katie Barker. I'm going Katie
Barker. Most improved over the course of the season, interesting.
Yeah, because obviously she's adapted really well going from a forward to a left winger. Because obviously as a forward, you're just focusing on just like once you get the ball, running, shooting and heading. But as a left wing, you've got to do a lot more. You've got to obviously getting the crosses in, shooting. Also, you've got to track back, helping the left back, helping the defence. And the progression straight away from there is going from a forward to there. It's a lot more physical work, a lot more there. And Katie Barker was like a duck to water. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she dedicated that going to go. Sean Becky, you know what? You had the faith and put me in there. I'm going to reward you with 100%. And she did. And she just started off there, like obviously adjusting it there, but then all of a sudden just clicked, and she was just absolutely incredible. And that's why, in my personal opinion, I picked her as the player of the season.
Most improved over the course. That's the
and player of the season.
For me, Tana Greenwood. I think she didn't get in the side until become a regular until December. When she got in that side, she never left the side. Doesn't matter who was around her. Doesn't matter what midfielder was around. Yes, she was moved back, centre back a couple of times. Sometimes she was part of a back three. Moved to sometimes centre midfield, sometimes defensive midfield. I just think every team needs a player with a bit of grit. She's not sexy on the eye. She's not flash. She doesn't go past players left, right. And that's not in her game. But what she does, the simple stuff, she does so well. So for me, over the course of the season, it's Becky's player of the season as well. But it's my most improved player over the course of the season because she went from a squad player to the 8s and 9s every week without fail.
You took one of mine, Katie Parker. You took another one of mine.
Over the course of the season.
Over the course of the season. So I want to give an honourable mention one to Grace Donnelly. I think Grace has come on leaps and bounds. Just at the start of the season, I would not have picked when Hannah got put in. I would have thought, yes, Hannah is our keeper for this season. That's the way it's going to go. And Grace took our opportunity and she ran with it. However, my most improved player of the season is going to be Jasmine McQuaid. Swagger like Jazz. Yeah. She has literally shined. She got given a chance. She came from the development team and got put into the team, coming on bits and bobs. And then to a point where our most impactful substitution this whole season has been Jasmine McQuaid. It's hard to name a time when she's come on and not made an impact. I think there's probably only been maybe 1 or 2 games where she hasn't came on and you've instantly went, wow, who's that player there? And it's been Jas McQuaid. That's my most improved.
I would have gone second with that as well.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Jazz.
Similar, they both come in, Hannah and her, around the same time and never look back.
Because I spoke at again when we were at Burnley, I spoke to Jazz. And I goes to Jazz, I asked her, do you know how to score tap? And she went, no, I only score wonder goals. And
Swagger.
And she does. This season, all her goals have been wonder goals. She is all outside the box.
Wonderful. Player of the season?
Katie Parker.
Same reason.
Same reason as before. It's just like she's adapted from going from forward to there, and you could tell when she was playing left wing, she's like helping Leah Cataldo. She was helping Naomi Bado out on there and defensively. And she gives 100. Like if it was more than 100, it'd be like 200%. She just gives her all, and that's what you want to see. Playing for the badge, and she's adapting. And on the left wing, she scores loads of goals.
I think you'll have mine, don't you? Charlotte Potts.
Potsy
hasn't been mentioned as much in this part because a lot of the highlights have just been about goals, but for me, to walk in the park on her, and I generally think she's the only player in the whole squad that could do a job at non-league and men's.
Wow.
Because I think she's that good.
That's
I generally feel she's the only one that could play at a non-league level for men's and look comfortable. I think her positioning is spot on. She's a clean defender as well. She's an organiser. She can play in midfield. She's that good on the ball. She's a ball-playing centre-back. A bit like Colaccini, a bit like Fabian Scher. She's just easy on the ball. It just seems like it's too easy for her. Like effortless. It'll be interesting to see how she gets challenged next season. But I'm pretty confident that next season it'll be the same as. I think she can even do a job in the WSL. I think she's, even though her age is 29 or something like that, I still think she's got a good 2 or 3 year left in her at a higher level. I think for me, Potsy, because I think without Potsy and especially Liv Watt, Grace doesn't get that Golden Glove.
I totally agree. That was initiated. That was a good wow. Because I do like when Charlotte Potter's in the back. I feel like I keep saying to Lee every time there, it's like safe as houses. You know, for fine fact. She's like, for me, she's like a Fabian Scher. She can pass from the back straight away. Then she can even run into midfield, carry the ball, and like do the offense.
If you put a 70-year-old kid next to her, or a 35 experience, Potsy will just be the same with them, treat them as the same.
Yeah, exactly. Leadership.
Hannah Greenwood. I think when it goes to what you were saying about unsung hero, I think when you look at Hannah Greenwood, she's played. I was when she got picked as Becky's player of the season. I messaged Hannah and congratulated her, and I went, "I'm shocked that you haven't actually even played in goalkeeper this season." And her reply was, "If I got given the opportunity, I would." She's the type of player I feel like she is a manager's dream. You ask her, "I need you to do this job," and I feel like Hannah's the type of player to go, yes sir, yes ma'am, I will do that job for you and I will give it my all. And she's one of those players who I feel like if you don't, in football you go to a match and you watch the ball. If you're not watching any of the players off the ball, you miss so much. And Hannah is there off the ball so much. She's played defensive midfield. She's played left side of midfield. She's played dropping back into centre back, dropping back into left back, dropping back into right back. She has played further up the pitch. She is able to drive the ball up the pitch. She's able to make runs. She's able to start attacks. She's able to snuff attacks out just as quick as she can start them. Hannah Greenwood, for me, is going to be one of the most important players. She's got leaps to go yet. She's got improvement and bags coming. I think Hannah Greenwood is our player of the season, and I think next season she's going to be one of our most crucial elements in the team.
Favourite moment?
I'll probably say it was a hard one because I did mention in the car I had two. It was the St James's Park semi-final. It's in James's Park with like 30-odd thousand there getting there. It's got to be the massive victory against Huddersfield, and then watching the lasses lift the title.
I've got to agree. I have to agree. I think you kind of top it. I think there is some notable mentions, but to see them a few weeks prior upset and distraught, like Katie Barker was in tears, Anna Soulsby, Amber Keaton, I can go on, all these players, to see their moment and everybody come together. Not just that, people that you don't really see, like the medical team and joining in, people like that, and the physios and stuff. For me, that's my favourite moment.
For me, yes, favourite moment, no doubt it's going to be winning the league title, but to take away from that, imagine that never happened. My favourite single moment to happen in a match would be Anna Soulsby. I mentioned it earlier, scoring 2 goals at Gateshead against Stoke. The way she celebrated, the way she played in that game, that is the Anna Soulsby I would love to see in every single game at Kingston Park, St James's Park, wherever it is, and she scored those 2 goals and she was so ecstatic. It was that feeling of... It was like a fan had just run onto the pitch and scored them 2 goals at the end. It was such It was such a relating moment. I absolutely adored that moment, and it lives with me. I replay it so often. Anna Soulsby on the double, unreal, amazing, love it.
Young player of the season. There's loads of players that can fall in the category. Like
Jasmine Quaid. It's just like I would say. She's I don't want to say underrated, but to me, she has, because like obviously she's made a lot of sub appearances, but every time she's come off the bench, she's changed the game, and I think Jazz is definitely Super League player, definitely.
Alicia Barry for me, because I think she's only 19, 20, and a lot of people forget about that. And Jonny's obviously left us, and she said that's his player of the season, but for young player of the season. Yeah, for me, there's loads that are in that age bracket. But I'm trying to make someone who's really young. Let's not forget, she's only 19 or 20, but she plays like a 25-year-old. So Alicia Body.
And she's picked to be a future Lioness. Liv is a belter. Olivia Watt. I rant and rave about Olivia Watt all the time.
Just qualifies, just.
Yeah. She has been absolutely insane this year. Do you know what it is? Actually, not.
Because she is nearly 25.
There is that. I'm gonna pull away from that for a second. And one who I think everyone forgets about, I certainly had to be corrected on it. Young player of the season, Katie Barker.
She's still young.
Yeah, I forget. Yes, 23. I forget all the time that Katie Barker is 23 years old, and that lass has. I can't stop saying it. She is in the form of her life right now. Young player of the season for me. Actually, I'm changing it from Liv Watt, and we're going with Katie Barker. Yes,
that's why I picked Katie Barker as like my player of the season. But then obviously, then you said young player, and I thought Jazz is a lot younger than Katie Barker. So I thought, well,
I think they're only 2 years apart.
It still counts as you.
Katie's got more experience.
It's a lot in football. 2 years.
It is.
But like it's like hard on like I say, Jazz just like Katie Barker always like start, like she got a start, but Jazz was coming off the bench, so she had less time to make an impact. But every time she came off the bench, she made an impact, and look what happened. Becky had a starter because she was just coming off the bench, being brilliant. So that's why I thought. So next season, Jazz. I think if Jazz starts, I think we're going to get like Jazz, Alicia in the middle. That's going to cause a lot of trouble for the other championship teams.
Goal of the season. I've only got two, and it's one or the other. flip a coin for me.
I'll jump in because I know straight away.
Silence is awful on the podcast.
Jasmine McQuaid versus Wolves. Absolute banger of a goal. Strikes it, top corner. She just flicks it first. Sorry, I always forget about the flick, the way she drops it. A beautiful, beautiful goal. And then because Lee said there's two, and I believe I know one of these other ones, and we've already spoke about it off camera. And I don't match, but it's a contention. Maybe it's one for you in the comments, which is the better one. The Hannah Greenwood header. It was like an Alan Shearer header. It was power. It was precision. It was unreal. Jasmine McQuaid versus Wolves, or Hannah Greenwood. I forget who we're against.
Can't remember. We've seen it in the clips.
We've seen it in the clips. You've seen the goal. Hannah Greenwood banging it in, Shearer style. They were one of them
I
too.
think Katie Barker's header's better, but we'll leave that. It's your choice. It's your choice. I wouldn't defend. It's either Tyler Dodds right at the end of the season, but I'm going Jasmine McQuaid as well. I think that flick and just the arrogance, the cockiness, and the confidence and the ability to do it. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
I only paused there because I was thinking Jasmine McQuaid, but then I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Emma Kelly against Huddersfield.
The chip.
Is
that the chip?
The chip, which I know it was meant to be. I know back then I know it was a cross, but kind of like looking back at it now, I think she meant that.
To take away from that, assist of the season, Emma Kelly.
Oh yeah,
Kelly De Bruyne.
Bethelumson.
Yep.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. Last one, and then we'll do a wrap up. Unsung hero. This could be anybody.
It's got to go to Bernie.
Bernie, wow.
Definitely Bernie, because if like obviously if you take Joe and Bernie away.
I think they need to get away. Literally the white place.
You ain't wrong. If you take them two away, what atmosphere would you have? Would you have the same atmosphere as it would there?
Credit to you, Joe, as well. And I noticed the last couple of weeks, especially Reddit, there was people trying to do that, and it's nice to see because that wouldn't have happened. People trying to take the mantle on of you because both of you weren't there.
So yeah, definitely. It's Bernie, Julie, and Joe. It's all the ones that keeps the atmosphere going.
I think Bernie gets a lot of love still, like more than rightly so, because she's chilling and she's got a drum and all that, and she's vocal in the women's group as well. I think she gets a lot of love, and rightly so. For me, it's Colin. It has to be Colin.
Oh, I was thinking. It
has to be Colin. Sue runs them close because Sue. Not many people know who Sue Cummins is, and me and Joe always make a point of that and talk, and you've started to as well.
Yeah.
The stuff that she does, the work that's behind the scenes, she has to deal with, like, she's Becky's boss, basically. She has to deal with Becky's issues, that whatever issues are, whether personal, professional, whatever, she sees all of that, but never tells you that. And I think she has to take that on. So, Sue, very close, but I think I've got to give it a Colin because I love Colin.
Yeah,
First thing I do, what do I do? I look for Colin.
Lee looks for Colin, but Colin's
First thing, I don't care about the players. It's first thing I do. Where's Colin? That is my mindset.
The funniest thing is,
say hello to him, take the mickey out of him. But I think he's had a well documented. He's said he's got some illness, health issues at the moment. So
get well, Colin.
I think he lives and breathes women's football, and that's his release from his. He's told me this before. It's his mental release that he loves going to do it. And if he's getting paid for it now, and rightly so, but he would still do it now.
Still do it for free.
If it was for free, because he's been doing it for 13 years. So Colin's got a lot of love of other people. Every time people know Colin, they say hello to him. They get the photos taken of him. And he's just have me photo. Yeah, me photo. And he gets dead excited as well. When he was at St. James Park the first time, he's getting giddy.
Yeah.
And he's like nearly, I don't know how old Colin is. He must be hitting 60. I might be digging a hole, yeah. 50s, Colin? You in the 50s, Colin?
We love you, Colin, no matter what.
I love you, Colin. But I've got a lot of time for him. A lot of time. We even done a special hour with him just about his photography about a year back. So, Colin for me.
That was another lovely moment. Obviously, the Charlotte Potts went over to Colin.
Yes.
And obviously she give them
that could be
medal.
the moment of the season.
I was just about to say that is a moment. That is a moment and a half.
That just proves, like, even Colin told me and Lee, like he's known Charlotte since she was little and followed all the way there.
Tell me it'll be a very, very sad day when he retires. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Properly just...
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I don't think he will. I think he'll keep going.
He'll keep going, but
nothing's stopping him.
I think it'll be death that'll kill him, literally. It'll be a sad day when he's not there.
And that's another thing that Lee's got to do now, because Colin's twigged on to what Lee's doing. Lee used to go and try and surprise Colin.
This is the thing I've got with him. I like to try and... At home games, he spots me first, normally now, but away games, not so clever. And then I'll put me David Attenborough voice on.
Watch the Burnley.
We have the male habitat. So that's my thing. It's just a silly little thing that I do.
Go and watch the Burnley vlog for that, David Attenborough.
I was feeling weird, didn't he, in the shelter?
Yes, he did. I caught him, give him a little fright. Poor Colin, you know what I mean? Going, as he says, going through health issues, and Lee's trying to give him fright. Yes, we love you, Colin. We do. My unsung hero, I can sit here and I can be like Jodie Bartle. Everyone knows the respect I've got for Jodie Bartle and the things that she's done for the fans. She goes above and beyond for a player. No disrespect to any of the others. I could say a few of the fans, Bernie, Sheila, there's a fair few you could say. I think the one who is unsung the most for the impact that this person has had on this team this season, in a way that not many people would look at, but we've been at the training ground and seen the impact this person has. Andy Cook. Andy Cook has changed Newcastle United women team massively. A lot of the credit goes to Becky Langley. People forget that they're a team. People forget that things have changed a lot. And when you look at Andy Cook's recent resume, it's hard to deny that him coming in didn't make a massive, massive, massive change in us. And if we didn't get Andy Cook, would we have been in a final? Would we have been winning the title and going up the championship right now? Would we have? I don't know. But what I do know is we are, and I accredit a hell of a lot of that to Andy Cook as well. For me, Andy Cook is an unsung hero, and we're probably never really going to get to see exactly what he did change behind the scenes. But I would wager it was a lot.
We got a lot of insight, didn't we, in the training ground?
Yeah, that was incredible.
The take turns. Becky will do a section, and he'll do a section. We've never seen that. We were like, ooh. But you can half talk, put it that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andy, I love you, but blooming hell, you can half talk in an interview. But I like that. At least it's not one word answers. That's a wrap, I think, everybody. It has been a long one. We knew this one would be a long one. And I hope you've enjoyed it on the second episode. We've had the first one with me, Joe, Megan, and Cozy doing scoring the players. But yes, this is the second one. And then make sure if you listen on the audio, hit the 5-star. And then if you're watching on YouTube, hit us the like. That's it from Jonny, who's left, Dale, and Joe, and myself.